Hey, it's the show.
Hey, it's
Welcome to another episode of Canid Confabulation. I'm Beretta Darkwolf.
and I'm Kilroy, McKenna.
And we're here to tell you about stuff and things. So let's cheers to that.
I love stuff.
I love things.
What kind of stuff?
All kinds. The best kind. Jaeger bomb.
For a second, I almost just want to take a sip and put it
Say a drink. Cheers.
Yeah, like, and then I was like, wait, no, that's not what it's not.
Jaeger bombs are like, I think, my favorite shot, to be honest. I can't safely say.
Why just Jaeger bombs? I just like bombs in general.
Well, yeah, bombs in general are good, but Jaeger bombs, something about Red Bull and Jägermeister's been like a favorite of mine just since I started drinking bombs. Monster bombs are okay too, because that's a different flavor, but I still prefer the Jaeger. But anyway, tonight on the show we have an interesting selection of just music to talk about, because we didn't do enough of it last week. I would say it is severely lacking, even though it really wasn't an actual show, it was just the test show. But this week we're just going to talk about music and its influence on people and culture and whatnot, and how it changes things. And just basically, I have a select group of albums that I really enjoyed and found over the past few, I'd say 12 months, you could say a year. The last 12 months I found some really great CDs that I've really enjoyed a lot, and you guys probably haven't heard of them because, as most people say, I'm a huge hipster when it comes to music, but really, I just like finding new things, because with me and music, it's always about finding that next little gem in the thing that you always want, that like experience again where it's like, oh man, this blows me away.
Fresh.
I want something that blows me away again, because it's just like a great thing finding like an album you can really relate to.
Yeah.
But yeah. Has anything new happened to you? You got any good stories? Got any good stories to tell? I don't got a lot. I mean, there's some things I could talk about, but really it's not.
What could you tell?
Work, but I don't know if people want to hear about
I
it.
know. I could talk about it too, but my work is depressing.
Man, you just shared stories. of work.
I know, right? Well, I work at a failing bar, so
It's the fail bar?
yeah.
A fail bar.
That's basically what it is. I pretend to cook.
What makes it fail hard?
We just don't get business, and it's not that anything's bad.
Is it a location issue, or is it just
I want to say it's a location issue, but it could be an advertising issue, like, because we just don't have people coming in the door. That's the only problem. People who do come in the door,
find the door? Is it like in a secret location?
back.
Is it like a top secret area? Like you got like a, I mean, like Safe House gets business and it's down an alley.
I know, right?
I don't know how that bar even, like, how do people promote it just with like underground like things? Like it literally is in an alleyway.
I know it is.
It's awesome.
Great.
It's great. It is great.
Well, I believe it started out as a speakeasy.
For people who don't, did it?
I thought it started as a speakeasy. I thought so.
It's possible.
During the Prohibition era.
The cool thing about this bar, for those of you who don't know, is in Milwaukee, there is a bar downtown that is literally up an alleyway in the corner. And to get into this bar, you need to know a specific password.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they make you do silly things for everyone to see when you're on camera in the entrance of the bar.
Yeah, it's a spy-themed bar. Like, that's the cool part. It's all spy-themed.
You enter the bar, and they have like little they have like a booth that you can go into and make like phone calls on. It's basically a telephone booth, but they have like buttons you can press which change the background noise of the environment you're in, so you can pretend you're somewhere you're not, like an airport or a bus station or something, and etc. The beach.
Yeah,
it's a good theme. It's a good theme for a bar.
It's very fun. I've only been there twice.
I remember I was there once, and that was when I was really young, and I've been meaning to go again, but I just haven't yet, because there's been no reason for me to go.
Like, the only thing I noticed was, like, their house drinks, like their specialty drinks, seemed kind of pricey to me, but everything else was not good. The food's great.
Was it? I heard mixed reviews. I heard the bar is more of a gimmick than it is like a place you get food. What I was told,
I can see that. Like, I only ate there 1 out of the 2 times, and I don't know. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't blown away, but it was like, all right, that was pretty good.
It was. Yeah. If it's acceptable, if it's not utter terrible.
Like, I guess it's kind of like a kind of like a bar anyways. So.
I think that there's 3 things that like most restaurants need. They need good service, good atmosphere, and then good food. And I think food is really one of the more important things, but an atmosphere and like good service can kind of overrule that slightly if, you know. But I always prefer atmosphere and food. Service doesn't always matter as much because you're only interacting with the server so often.
It's usually
yeah. But, you know, it really depends. I mean, I don't know. What would you prefer? Do all 3 matter? Does 1 matter? 2 matter?
I mean, to me, it all matters. Like, I would say atmosphere for me is number 1.
Yeah.
But that, I guess it's really more just your own personal taste. Because I know some people who are all about the service. Like, if they get bad service, they will never, ever go to the place again. Like, even if it's just once, yeah. Like,
see, I don't know if I rule out a place after just like 1 night of shitty service because I know that like that could have just been an off day. Like it has to keep happening for me to just give up on a place. For me to just say no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Forget that place. It's terrible. You know, it's
yeah. Because if they're going to consistently if it's consistently bad service, that's usually probably something like the hiring. They're just hiring. Something's wrong or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just realized I think you're higher than me, so I'm just gonna. I look like I'm way taller than you, so let me just.
Don't mean low.
I'm high. I was higher.
You were.
Yeah.
You said I think you're higher.
No, I meant yeah.
And I mean, you're right,
yeah.
but.
Alright. we're level now. We're all level, and I was like, freaking out. I'm like, dude, I look like I'm tall as fuck. Like, there's like
maybe you are. You just grew. You grew like 6 inches in the past week.
I would have to go see a doctor.
That's what is wrong with you.
You have gigantism.
Gigantism.
Awesome.
Is that a thing?
I
don't think it's called that. Is it actually?
I think it is. I think it's that easy to. I think it is.
It might be, right? Here, I'm gonna see if I can post this.
You should. I'll check. And let's see what we got going on the old feed here. On the old feed.
Phone,
what you do?
What do, son?
What do?
That's
an interesting accent.
I don't even know what kind of.
Was that like Eastern Croatian accent?
I don't even know what Eastern Croatian.
I don't either.
Why?
I'm gonna pretend like that's what you're terrible.
Oh, okay. I need to kind of do something.
Still post the old fucking image, fine. There's no reason for that because I changed it already. But sure. It's kind of weird too. Copy link. Paste the link.
No, I
like paste.
No, I don't like sharing. Sometimes when you share things, it doesn't post it to everyone.
But sharing is caring. You have to care about posting everyone's feed.
That's why I want people to share their comfort with me. To show that I care. Is that how this works? Paste.
Are we having a lesson?
Paste.
We should have a diagram where it says, "This is how we do this."
Right. It's something. Normally, if I drink, then I drink again later.
That's actually the opposite for me.
Yeah, normally it is, but I'm already kind of feeling it.
I got a weak buzz. It's a weak buzz, and that's probably because I drank last night, aka early this morning, and then I was up until 2 in the afternoon before I finally went to bed because I had a lot of things I had to do today. So I was playing video games until about 9 or 10 a.m. And then I went and I did a bunch of errands and passed out at 2 p.m. And then I had to wake up and get all this ready, and I did. So we're good. And
drinking and streaming.
Yeah, that's
Come watch.
That's how it goes sometimes. You just gotta chill out, have a few beers, talk about life.
I do that.
I mean, really, we should just call the show The Bar.
The bar.
Because that's what it kind of is. It's just like, hey man, we just tell stories. And people are
talk
on
about
my
random
Facebook.
shit.
I'm freaking out here. I'm scared.
Set my phone down.
Oh, all right, check this out.
What's up?
So I did see an article recently. That's actually an article. I don't know
Oh
if
my
you
God.
noticed it, but apparently a Norwegian boy fended off an entire wolf pack with heavy metal, and we use that in quotes. And this is music related, so we can talk about this thing. But basically, this kid was out in the woods, and he was walking home from whatever he was doing. I didn't read too in-depthly into that, but he was on his way back, and he was listening to his MP3 player or whatever, his phone probably, and all of a sudden a whole pack of wolves just like crosses in front of him. This is when he freaked out. He was like, "Oh, I know I can't run, because if I run, they're gonna fucking chase me down, because there's the thrill of the hunt all of a sudden." So his idea was, hey, I'm just gonna take my phone and just blast fucking Creed. So he blasts Creed music over his phone and just starts rocking out in front of these wolves, and apparently they just go, "Yep, we're out," and they just walked.
Nope.
They just shot away. Nope, not gonna deal with Creed today. I'm sorry.
My ears are bleeding.
So apparently wolves don't like Creed. I must be
you
the
like
exception,
Creed? Yeah.
because I actually
You like
enjoy
Creed?
some Creed songs.
Of course you do.
I'm sorry, I really do.
No, that's fine.
There are some Creed songs
I
that I
don't-
don't mind.
Like, this thing, I don't care. People are gonna like what they like.
But I like really shitty things in addition to really good things. No, truthfully, I like a vast majority of. It's like the entire spectrum of like everything everyone hates, like really abstract stuff nobody knows. So
Are you a masochist? Is that what this is?
yes, I like to torture myself with terrible music because it's pleasurable to be tortured with Creed and Nickelback. I'll be honest though, the only good Nickelback album is like their first three. Their first three are okay. And by that I mean the ones you probably haven't heard of, which is like Curb, and then the first really popular one is Silver Side Up, and then there's The Skate. That's the one I really like, which is the one before Silver Side Up. And then everything after that kind of sucks. Because I mean, when you're writing songs about putting things in her mouth, like, can you really be considered like a musical genius at that point? I don't know if that. Like,
I think everyone.
the song's got a good
I
beat.
think every
It's-
every artist has some kind of vulgar song. Every
To
artist.
some extent, but I mean, if you really like, if you were to take those lyrics and read them, I think really good lyrics can almost be considered poetry in a way, and I would not call that like poetry in any shape or form. But
I agree with you on that.
I mean, like even rap lyrics, it's just one of those things where it's like a lot of rap lyrics are really well written. They flow well. It's meant to rhyme. Like it literally is poetry. It's lyrical poetry to some extent. Yeah, but I
talking
mean,
to someone who loves rap.
I know you
so.
do. I don't know. Do you want to just go right into your favorite albums, or
If you want to.
this is actually we can talk about it, and then I'll talk about the stuff that I enjoyed in the past, like year or so of me listening to music, other stuff I found. But I know I talked about my top 5 favorite albums with Mike Durante on our music show we did. That was unrelated to this show. It's just like we did a music show talking about like our favorite albums. And now, since you weren't there for that, I think there was a reason you couldn't be there. I feel like we were all.
I was probably working.
Yeah, that was probably
That was
there.
the third shift.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not going. I probably have to go back.
I'll take you back. What the hell?
It's bad.
There's other places though.
Yeah.
There's always.
I think I just need crew.
Well, there's always. There's always. What about Miles' work?
If they're hiring.
I mean, if you guys could carpool, even think about it. Easy. You guys live together even. Wow. So
Right.
weird how that works. So now we'll start off with this because it's your shit. Because I talked about mine. I'll really briefly go over mine after to tell your top. I'm sorry, I talked with my hands. I know. That's what I do. What are your? I want to know your top 5 albums of all times. Things that have like inspired you greatly throughout your life, that have just like that albums that you just fucking love. Like something that's just like the best thing ever. And I'm actually, if anybody is watching, I'm curious as to their responses, what they really enjoy. Like they can pick 1 or 2 albums that they really like, and I'll read them out after.
Do a shout out.
Yeah, do a shout out if they're watching. If they're not watching and they say it after the show, there's no way for me to actually do that. Fucking bad. But you can leave it in the comments on YouTube.
Just, you know,
Leave it in the comments on YouTube.
Time.
We'll go back in time, rip a hole in the space-time continuum, and create a Mobius. I don't know how that happened. That was a different event than I'll have to clean that out. But anyway.
I don't know what I just touched. What we could do.
Nothing. They're sitting in my shelf.
Yeah. In front of your computer?
Yeah, in front of my computer. There's a lot of things in front of my computer.
I'm sure there is.
So, top 5 albums. Last of your life. Last all of your life.
That's all of my life.
All of your life. You tell me, and everybody out there in internet world wants to know. Kilroy, McKenna, aka Pon's favorite music. You got some things. Just give me one, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no.
See,
first and foremost, like, definite. I think number 1 it would be Simon's song "Counterculture."
Great album. Rising Against.
Yes. Like that was. I first heard that album in high school, and like that is what kind of got me through fucking high school. Was the fucking tracks on that album. So definitely that for my all-time favorite.
So that's your number 1.
Yeah,
Number 1.
if
I really like that album. Honestly, to be honest, I've been using that album to work out a lot.
And,
Yeah,
that's
I really enjoy.
No, like I think it's got a really good mix of like high energy songs and, you know, kind of like lower, more mellow songs.
It does.
It's got a very good mix, and I love the message.
It starts off great though.
Like
it's just great.
It just jumps right in. No, that's what I like about it.
You make me want to listen to Rise Against now. Like I
know. That reminds me of, dude. That's probably one of my favorite shows. Is when you meet Arctic.
It was awesome.
Where
dude, I was in the pit with my recording.
Like
it wasn't even
that
like
was so fun.
I'm just like, there was so much energy here. I felt like everybody was just connecting, and the band was connecting with the audience.
And well, that's the thing. Almost every Rise show I go to, it's like that. Almost
every great concert I have ever been at, the artist is interacting with the audience at some deeper emotional, like psychological level. Like you are all one energy in that room, and it's amazing.
That's why
that makes the best concerts, I think.
My second favorite concert was probably System. When I got to see System a couple years ago. It was like 3 years ago.
I didn't get to see System. I think was that down in Chicago.
Allstate.
It was on a Wednesday. Yeah, Rosemont. Rosemont. It's Allstate. Yeah, I know where that was. Rosemont, Illinois, and their
yeah, no, that was a really fun show. First time I actually I've been Deftones opened for them, and I honestly apparently Deftones are like real big. I don't listen to them a whole lot. I've heard maybe 1 or 2 of their songs on the radio, and that's it.
My opinion.
And when I heard them live, they just didn't sound. I saw that great.
I saw them once live, and they were kind of subpar.
Even the energy they're putting out, I felt was kind of like
half-assed. I mean, if you look at it though, if you know Chino, the lead singer of that band, he kind of let himself go, kind of like what Jonathan Davis did. I think Jonathan Davis is more getting back on the horse or whatever, but Chino Moreno he just kind of let himself go. Like, it just seems like he just is trying to make money now. I mean, his albums are still good. It seems like he's still writing decent music, but it's got no energy for shows.
It kind of felt that way, because like when I was hearing it, I was like,
he's not very good live either. His vocals kind of
it's
not.
Yeah, no, I felt that the vocals were kind of shitty, but at the concert, I just thought it was just shitty equipment, you know, maybe, or
the way he sings. Honestly, I would say he can't really sing, but I think a lot of the editing with him is done in post. I think the music is just so good that they were able to get a record deal because and then they're making decent albums from there on out. Because I would say actually their last 2 albums were good. I know I really did like Diving Box.
Well, yeah, no, they pop up on my Spotify every now and then, so I hear them more now. But at the time, I was...
Well, they're related to what you like, so it's kind
Right. No, and that was the other thing. Like hearing them live, I didn't like any song that they had played live. But then I hear
it's all their newer stuff, which isn't as good as their older stuff. Like
fair enough. And then I hear it on on internet radio and shit like that. I'm like, all right. I mean, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
It's not something I don't think I would go out and seek all the time. But if it's on, I'm not going to change it.
Absolutely, yeah. I really do enjoy the Deftones in their earlier years. I know White Pony used to be one of my favorite albums of all time. It kind of got bumped out by other stuff, but I still really think one of their first album with it's like the white cover. It's got Engine Number 9 on it. I can't remember the name of the album.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
I usually know this stuff.
At some point, I might just be like, I don't remember the album name, but I know the artist.
Yeah, their earlier stuff is really good. Even their new stuff's okay too. But I'd say they're an all-around solid band. But back to your 5 albums.
Right. Number 2, Conditions of My Parole. Especially lately, like that's. I know it's Maynard, which is funny because like I never actually listened to Pussifer much up until this past year. Like I've always listened to it, and then Pussifer was just like, even A Perfect Circle I didn't start listening to until maybe about 2 years ago.
Honestly, I like Pussifer, but I've never really. That song "Conditions of My Parole" is great, by the way. The music video is awesome.
Yes.
I love that.
No, I like the music video. And actually, that's probably. I don't know. I feel that it seems like he has more fun with the music.
If I could name off 3 tracks that I know for a fact I really love by Lucifer, it's I really enjoy Potions, the Deliverance mix, and I really enjoy Mama Said, and then Conditions of My Parole.
I do like Mama Said. That's
a great song.
Yes, that's.
But I don't know if their album. I haven't really listened to them too in depth. But it's Maynard's work, and I know I probably will enjoy it to some extent if I actually listen to it. I just haven't had as big of a Tool fan as I am. I just haven't. I've been kind of out of it just the past few years. I think what's going to rekindle that love, hopefully, is their new album which comes out.
You don't. It doesn't seem like you have high hopes for it.
I don't though. 10,000 Days was good. It was okay, but when you try to live up to Lateralis and Anima, it just does not. It is not on the same level in any way. It doesn't have the flow. It's not. It's just it's like the kid who is hitting their senior year and just wants to see. That's what it feels like. It's
senioritis.
Yeah, it's depressing. It's just we've had all these heights, and now we're still trying to make you music, but we are kind of done.
I don't know. To me, it seems like it seems like they just tried something a little different with 10,000 Days. I liked it, but I think it's great. I like it.
I personally feel.
I'm not gonna say it's their best. I don't think it's their best album.
I think Tool as a band, they've kind of wanted to do their own things, and they've lost interest in the concept of Tool. They are kind of out of that mindset now. Yeah. Maynard's doing Pussifer, and I think that's where he's putting all his energy.
That and wine.
I think
it's more the wine than anything else.
I really want to go visit his vineyard. When I go out to California, eventually, when I drive out there, I want to go through Nevada and hit fucking Area 51, check out Las Vegas, and then go to Arizona or whatever. Look at Maynard's wine vineyard, maybe buy some wine on the way.
I would love you know.
I love road trips, so that was some shit. But number 3. Liberal Trace.
Rush 2012.
Great album too. I really enjoyed it.
That was probably number 1. That's something like my dad and his older friends listen to Rush, and that's something I just kind of started listening to because they were listening to stuff like Rush.
I try to get into Rush to some extent, and I know I really enjoy their Counterparts album, and I like 2112, but that's kind of weird. It's like Tom Sawyer-esque era and stuff, and
yeah,
that kind of his voice and the way the music's it's a little I don't even want to say nerdy. It's just a little too not my style.
I get that. I just like a lot of their jams and stuff. And they do their live shows are really cool to watch.
Oh yeah.
There was one where fucking what's his name? Neil Peart, the drummer, did like I think it was like a 40-minute drum solo just in the middle. Yeah,
it was pure epic.
Yes, yeah,
epic drum.
That's when he was at what's the bigger stage down in Summerfest?
Marcus.
Yeah.
Was that when you were there with your dad? Or were you telling me you went to see Rush with your dad?
There was a couple times I actually saw Rush 3 times. Yeah, 3 times now.
You've seen him more than I think most people have. I can't say I know anyone who said I've seen Rush like 3 times. Unless they're like over 40, there's no one I can ask that's probably said I've seen Rush 3 fucking times.
Yeah. No.
So you're a big fan. It's you and Colin Brown.
I just really like concerts. I really enjoy going to concerts.
Oh, I love them too.
Even for music, like I'm not completely into, because
You
I
like
still
the
just like I like a concert atmosphere, which is really funny because I hate crowds of people.
You're there to feed on the band and like fuck all y'all.
Right?
If it was
me your energy.
You guys don't touch me, we'll be fine. That's pretty much it. You're just saying everyone back the fuck away. Back the fuck off. I'm here for the band. It's fuck all y'all assholes. It's funny because what's his name? One of Corey's friends, that's Steve-O's Brad Radisky. Brad?
Yeah.
Brad was talking on Facebook. Now, here's a funny story about Brad. I don't even know how I'm friends with him, but we relate Facebook-wise. Like we like each other's stuff, and it's really funny because like I feel like we had met briefly at one time because we're friends somehow.
Yeah, no, he's been like he was at a couple of Corey's parties. I'm pretty sure.
Right. I don't remember ever meeting him, even though it's probably happened. But I know that we both would totally get along because of what we talked about. He was talking about concerts and shit. Some people that have pissed him off, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I've gotten that before. And like he was saying, I've almost gotten in fights at shows. I'm like, there was one time in particular that I can really remember when I was at a concert. We'll talk about bad concert experiences. I was at a show. I can't even remember what it was, but I was standing there minding my own business, just like waiting for the show to start. And this dude is with his girlfriend or whatever, and he's like holding her and elbows out, straight up, like.
Yeah, dude, that was the Rise concert.
I don't think so. Because I wasn't.
Sure?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Maybe you told me about it when we were there.
This dude was sitting there, elbows fucking out, and he was digging his elbow into my side, physically digging his elbow into my side, and he knew he was doing it. And I remember just getting really irritated, until one point I just couldn't take it anymore. I remember looking at him straight in the face, like I randomly said, "Fucking stop!" At the top of my lungs. He backed the fuck off that because he knew what he was doing. It was just so unnecessary. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not even touching you. Why do you gotta be like that, dude? Like, get the fuck away. Like, are you serious? Like, what is this your macho? Like, I'm like gonna try to protect my girl from the evil of the people around. Like, let me show her how much I care.
Exactly. It's like we aren't there. We aren't there for your girl. We're there to watch the fucking music.
I know. It was really fun. I was just really irritated. Really irritated.
Yeah, no, that would piss me off. That's fucked up. I just hate assholes in crowds. Like, there was a couple times me and my friends started fucking with people who crowd kill in around moshes.
What does that mean?
Crowd killing is basically, you got the mosh pit. People in the mosh pit are having fun and they're in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Now, then you have the crowd on the outside. They're watching the band or they're watching people fucking around in the mosh pit. Crowd killing is the act of taking, like, people who aren't in the mosh and forcing them into the mosh pit.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, especially
I've never had that happen to me, but I've had moshes start around me, but I just kind of feed off of it. I usually push people back.
Well, yeah, but like I understand, like not everyone's gonna want to be thrown around in a mosh pit, especially if you are a smaller person. And like me and my friends have seen people like literally just whipping people from the crowd into a mosh pit. And I'm like, well, that's not cool.
So is that one of your bad experiences, or did you
well, yeah, normally we just take those people down, and then it turns into a fun experience, a little bit violent. But
what a flogging Molly show is like. Have you been to those?
Flogging Molly shows are great.
It
depends. I think it depends more on the venue, because I've seen them a few times at like a festival venues, like Summerfest.
Yeah.
I saw them there, and like those shows are still great, but it's a slightly different atmosphere because I also
bunch of
seen them.
benches. You can't like
Exactly.
benches.
You know, whereas I saw them at I saw them at the rave though, and at the rave, you know, that was a really cool show.
Yeah.
It wasn't the ballroom, but like basement or whatever. I fucking forget what the downstairs was called.
Eagles Ballroom is an interesting venue, but I actually prefer their smaller one, the in-between size. A lot of good shows there.
Yeah, no, that's the one that they're playing, which is great.
What do you prefer then? Do you prefer a tiny bar style venue, a medium size, or like?
I'd go like medium size. Although big venues are great. Like I've seen plenty of big bars, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've seen a couple concerts.
Yes. Which one did you go to?
I went to two. There was one in Madison that I saw, and then one here in Milwaukee.
Were you at the 2007 show?
Yes.
At Bradison.
Yeah.
That was an awesome show.
Yeah, I believe it was at Gnarls Barkley.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yes,
I was there for my tour shirt. That was a great show. I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was my senior year.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. That was a great show.
That was.
If I would have known you were there,
right?
We could have hung out.
That's funny.
I was right side, like close, but like right corner.
Me and my friends, we were dead center. Like we weren't on the floor, but like the first section up off the floor, like right in the center.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
It was. I just really enjoyed him. I'm glad I got to see him. I don't know if I'd go check him out again. I think it was just one of those one-time experiences where it's like, yeah, that was really seeing him. But you know, I don't like any of the Red Hot Chili Peppers newer stuff. I think, by the way, it was their tipping point. Yeah. I know they've got some good tracks. Like I'll admit, Danny California is a great song, and some of their other tracks.
See, that's the thing. Like a lot of people didn't like Stadium Arcadium. Well, here's my thing. Like I don't know. I think it was wrong of them to, because that was a 2-disc album.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And I think that's kind of what fucked it up. Like there was just too
much
many
material for them to like take in all at once.
Yeah, and I think that's why it didn't get received very well.
Yeah.
Because like there's plenty of great fucking songs like Snow. Like,
that's okay.
I think it's great. I love. I don't know. I'm more into like bass lines and stuff like that. So if there's intricate bass lines,
you want bass lines, you should listen to Typo. But I know
it's
they
been ruined for me. Ruined.
Never ever play something day in day out
for 3 months
because you won't like it after that. You ever hear like where the police do that like music? They play the music to like drive people out of the hostage situation. It's like they play shit over and over just to like make people insane and just drive them nuts. They like
just to irritate.
Yeah, they just
like troll.
Blast. Yes, pretty much.
They troll them into submission. The hostages out.
They troll the terrorists into submission.
Right.
No, but I don't know. I can imagine why you wouldn't like him, but I relate to Peter Steele's mindset and just his like all his music is so deep and emotional, and he has like a sense of humor which is straight up sarcastic about everything, but still remaining like really level-headed about it. And I'm just like, I love it. It's just great. It's fucking great. It's humorous. It's deep, and it's heavy, and there's just a whole like everything you want in music around Typo Negative, and that's why I love it.
It's funny that you mentioned By the Way though, because I think that would probably
that's where they ended for me. That was like right in 2002 when that album came out. I know Californication is still one of my all-time favorite albums. I still think great yes. Road Trip CD. Great.
Oh god, yes. Yes.
You got a track on there called Road Trip.
I know. That's why I like it. No, I was actually gonna say it's either By the Way or Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic is a great album too.
Like I think those are.
They had one hot minute in between there too. But yes. I actually don't know that album very well. I actually
like it's a good album, but I don't know. I didn't like as many of the tracks.
Yeah, it's not. It's probably not. It was probably one of those albums where like half the tracks are good, half the tracks are
right.
But Blood Sugar Sex Magic, that is a great album too. It was really hard to actually choose between the two because that's almost a different style.
Yeah,
think about it.
I know.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic is way more funky than Californication is, but Californication is just really well put together.
Yeah.
The whole album is great.
Yeah. No, I grew kind of like my dad was a huge Peppers fan as well. So like, growing up, that's all I heard. Was like,
My dad listened to him too, but I actually knew who he were back then. So.
Yeah.
That was when I was like 10. So he'd play Californication, on vinyl, and I'd be like, oh, Dad.
See, my dad wasn't
Listen to
like
Britney
that big
Spears.
into music. Like, he might have a couple of CDs here or there, maybe.
What freaks you out as a kid, to be honest, though, is when you're listening to Limp Bizkit and your dad is also listening to Limp Bizkit. That's kind of a weird feeling. But for me, I didn't dislike it just because, like, he did have a significant other.
I don't really like
A significant other in their $3 bill, y'all. Good albums. John knows what I'm talking about. Do I have to text him?
Sure.
By the way, you remember what John looks like with his beard and his hair he's got?
I think so.
He shaved it all off just to be funny.
Just to be funny.
He shaved every hair on his face off, just to walk into work and see his reaction. That's how big of a trouble he is. He just wants to see what happens. He's like, I'm going to shave all the hair on my head. And I'm just like, are you really? He goes, yeah. And I didn't believe him. And then he Snapchatted me a photo of him. And he, like, made, like, the baby face. And, like, do, like, a big baby. And then he goes, dickhead. And then took a picture of himself and drew, like, sperm coming out of the top. I'm like, you are hilarious, John.
He's an interesting character.
He is.
That's fun.
You have to play WoW together with him. You gotta let me level up, and I will, and we will do this.
I got a character waiting.
I know, everybody's waiting on me.
I got like a 12 level warlock.
Sorry, man.
So in the meantime,
I'm addicted to CS.
Right, I know. In the meantime, I made a warrior. So me and Robert have been playing. And I got a warrior who PvP with. Fucking people left and right.
Good for you.
Just go. Oh, okay, I'm a warrior. You're dead.
All right, we have 3 albums, which were System of a. What was it again?
You don't even.
I remember because they're not my albums.
Rise Against.
Rise Against. Yeah.
Condition of My Parole.
Condition of My Parole.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Rush 21.
Rush
21.
And
number 4. Like I said, it's split kind of between. By the way,
that's okay. I think Mike D did the same thing too with System. I think it was. I'd have to watch it again. But
yeah.
Go.
Well, and like, see, and here's the thing. Like, my last slot is kind of torn because I really do enjoy System, but for me personally, I like a lot of Serge's solo work. So I think my 5th album slot is going to go to Harakiri, Serge's most recent album.
Yeah.
Actually. It's because, like, I love the lyrics. I love all of his lyrics. They're great. Which is why I think I'm going to go with that, because he didn't write a whole lot of lyrics for System. A lot of it was actually Darren, the guitarist.
I actually didn't know that. I think someone told me that recently, but...
Yeah, like... I mean, they both do work on the songs lyrically together, but I'm fairly certain most of it is written by Darren.
Interesting. I'm going to apologize to our viewers real quick, because I had the laptop plugged in, which caused the hum.
Oh, there was a hum.
It's faint.
Oh, okay.
I assume some people have noticed that, but it's gone now.
See if anyone can send anything in the chat.
Nah, I don't think so. We got 4 viewers. No, nobody said anything. Some people don't notice shit like that, but if I was watching someone else's stream, I'm kind of technical when it comes to that. It would bother me.
Yeah.
But
I try to tone it down, but because of my
I'm still new at all this stream shit and everything, so it's just one of those.
I need to do this.
We've had so many audio problems for like ever on this.
That's like the biggest fucking problem.
Getting the audio to sound good is literally like the best challenge in the world,
and ultimately one of the most important.
Yeah, I know. It's just frustrating. It's really hard to get quality audio through the internet and it recorded properly. Just sound decent.
It's a lot of electrical things, so I think this
the room is kind of got a lot of outlets and shit. Everything's plugged into one centralized location, so yeah, that's probably an issue. But like I said, if we separate it out like that, it usually sounds pretty okay. Yeah, laptop's separate from everything. But then you're running on battery life. So you would say, what were the 2 you were splitting it then between for System?
Like, if I was gonna pick a System album, I'd say probably steal this album.
Now that's an interesting one, because that's like almost a B-sides collection.
I guess it seems like that, and I guess that's probably what it was.
Do you know why they released that album?
I don't. Didn't it get leaked at some point?
It was leaked,
and they just kind of said, "Fuck it, steal it."
It was leaked as Toxicity 2, and it was actually a bunch of extra tracks, some from Toxicity, that they weren't going to release, but then because it was posted on the internet as Toxicity 2, they said, fuck all y'all. We're going to release this on like a CDR looking thing and call it Steal This Album. And I'm just like, that's epic. And it still made like decent sales.
Yeah.
Like it sold.
It's funny.
So in the end, they ended up doing really well off of it.
And it's funny because
It's a great album, too. It's a great album.
And it came out after Toxicity, but like it almost seems like it
Mr.
would
Jack
have
is an
been
amazing
forward.
track. I don't
Yeah.
know how that wasn't even on Toxicity if that was meant to be there. I love that song.
Yeah. No, like, and that's the thing. Like, as an album, I guess it doesn't seem to flow very well
Not really.
because
But that
like
doesn't
it
always
seems
matter.
like as much B-sides, but no
If
individual
it's
tracks.
quality
fucking
songs.
golden. Yeah. No, they are a lot of tracks are.
I mean, I like boring stuff like Seether and shit. And I think older Seether's amazing. I think Disclaimer's still a great fucking album.
Yeah.
I love that album.
I'm not very familiar with Seether. Like, there was a couple.
They're one of those bands that like you really gotta like a lot of post grunge. You gotta be like like grunge. So
The only
much that
reason,
you have to,
honestly, actually, I think the only reason why I heard of them was because at one point I listened
know
to
Corey
Evanescence,
hates-
kinda, and then
at one point in my life, I did listen
Right.
to that.
Well, I don't listen to like I haven't been fucking listening to Evanescence since high school or even middle school or something. I don't know. When was that big?
It was probably middle high school, early high school.
Yeah.
Early high school, I'd say. That's
I
what it
haven't
was.
listened to it since then. But didn't Amy Lee date?
Yeah, and then they both wrote breakup songs about one another.
Hey, gave him more material. Good on us.
You know what's funny? It's really sad though about a lot of musicians is a lot of their creative drive does come from their depression, and most of them have substance abuse problems during that time, and they write their best music while they're like fucked up. So like when Seether got clean, all their shit got not as good. Their most recent album is actually pretty okay, but it's nowhere near as good as like any of their earlier stuff. Their two before that sucked. Everything after Carmen Effect, no good. No me gusta. That is not an album I would prefer over a Disclaimer and Carmen Effect. Great fucking albums, and their newest one's okay. That's what I'd say. But I've seen them live probably more times than I've seen any other band because they always come around here in Summerfest and shit. It's weird seeing them. I think I recorded their whole 2010 show.
That's why I like going to Summerfest because it's like pay $10 and see multiple. At least halfway.
There haven't been that many good bands there in the past few years though, and if they are, they're
at least not at the same time. Like they spread them out a lot more. It used to.
I know Rise Against was there, and that was one of the only bands I wanted to see, but they always put it on like a weeknight, and it's debateful if I can get off or not.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those like.
And even then, like
I don't know if I have
I think the past couple of years, it's been like dead in the fucking middle of the week.
Yeah, it really depends. So we got your number 4. What would be your number 5?
Oh, that was my number 5.
Both of them. So 4 and 5.
Did you forget already?
No, because you
Rise
said
Against.
Yeah.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
Rush.
Yeah.
How I forget it. That was the first split one that I couldn't decide.
Pretty sure that was your number 4, bro. Pretty sure it was.
Almost positive this was. I'm
Pretty
sure.
positive. No.
No.
I don't know.
Chili
Dude.
Peppers.
We were talking about Chili Peppers, but you didn't actually say that Chili
Yeah, I
Peppers.
did. I said, by the way. You mentioned, by the way, and I said, by the way.
All right. So then you. All right, there you go.
Because I said it was either by the way or Blood Sugar Sex Man.
Now I know I said this in line, so we got all yours. I would say that my shit.
Did you break something?
No, I didn't break something. I think the stream was just breaking itself.
Yeah, I think you broke it.
No, it's fine. We're good. Computer's just not the greatest right now. That's why I just came out of sleep. But anyway, my 5. I'm gonna go through this fast because it's already been done in the show previously. But it was basically Tools and Ema, one of the greatest albums of my life. That was something that it was always torn between that or Alice and an Ema, but in the end I decided on an Ema because it has tracks like Push It and Third Eye and like 46 and 2, and just every track. It doesn't flow as well as Latter Alice, but it's the best in my opinion. I would say though after that there's another album called Double Drive. It's blue in the face, and I love Double Drive, and you know everyone's gonna make fun of me for that because they're just some unknown like alternative rock, modern rock thing. But holy shit, that album's fucking awesome, dude. I don't know, it's something about it. I love it. I don't know why. Don't know why.
No, I think you showed that.
I don't know why. I think I also said In Absentia by Porcupine Tree. That is one of my all-time favorite albums. That's if you haven't heard of Porcupine Tree and you enjoy bands like Tool and Radiohead and like kind of proggy stuff with like Pink Floyd elements, like Porcupine Tree is one of the best bands to check out if you haven't. It's just amazing. The whole album is written about like different serial killers, but done in kind of like almost an upbeat tone. So it's like the weirdest like combination of like melancholy, happy with like kind of heavier influence. It's just it's amazing. Like even the album artwork, everything. Steven Wilson, I think, is just one of the best like musical geniuses of like the last 20 years. Like I think this guy just like he's like the whole band, and he writes music from his heart. Even his solo stuff is epic. Like it's just amazing. But after that, I think I also picked World Coming Down by Tycho Negative. That was top favorite, and for a while it was either that or October Rust, but it ended up being World Coming Down because that is a much darker, much heavier, kind of a deep, basically like very emotional album for Peter Steele. It was one of those albums where he was going through a lot of like depression. Everyone around him was either getting sick, people were dying, he's having like legal issues and stuff, I think. He's dealing with substance abuse, cocaine, alcoholism, just, you know, everything's falling apart at this point. And all his music is just like emotionally driven at that point. Everything's just really, it's just well put together. I love that album. It's great. And even the interlude tracks, like he's got a track called Liver, a track called Sinus, and then a track called Lung. And in each one of the tracks, like Liver, you hear like the pouring of a bottle. Like this is in between songs.
Yeah.
Right after it's right after a track called like damn it, I forgot what it's called. But it deals with cocaine use.
Yeah.
Well, damn it. I almost remembered it, but then I fucking forgot it again. It's like, oh man, white slavery. It's white slavery, and it's slavery to the white substance, which is cocaine. And he talks about how his addiction to cocaine is like basically kind of controlling his life. And then it goes into Liver or something like that. And Liver, you hear like this pouring of like alcohol into a bottle, and it's kind of like gives you this weird atmosphere. And then you just hear, or no, he's actually, you hear him on stage first, and you hear like the audience screaming, and you just hear him like run off stage, and then you hear the gravel of like him running out to his like truck, and you hear like the RV like tour bus. He gets in the tour bus, and then you hear like the pouring of a bottle, like he's trying to like solve his emotional issues with alcohol. And then like he's drinking the alcohol, and then you just hear this gun cock, and then you're like, oh god, and then you just hear, and then like it kind of like warps, and you hear these sounds of like people getting around him and shit, and then like it's like the ambulance EMTs are there, and it's all slow motion, clear, and then basically then all of a sudden it goes black, and you just hear like an ominous kind of like undertone with like just a low note with like voices and shit, and then it gets quiet and the phone's ringing. And then a phone's ringing, and then you pick it up and it goes, hello. And then you just hear screams, and I just picture him like in this black room picking up this phone and like getting sucked into hell because he killed himself or something like that. Like that's my, then it starts off with the next track. It leads right in, it's just an amazing interlude. I love that. I love that album so much. But in Sinus, it's like you hear him like snorting some shit, and then like he's doing cocaine, and then it goes like right into another song. And then Lung is about like smoking cigarettes or weed or whatever, and then it goes to like it's really a creepy track too, because he's sitting there and he's basically smoking, and then he coughs a lot, and then you hear like a scream, like kind of like a grah, and then he's in the hospital, and you hear like the beeping of like the heart monitor or whatever, and there's a woman crying next to him, and a little kid in the background singing like a leapfrog, that nursery rhyme thing, like one leapfrogs out on lung. Just in the background as all this is going on, and then the heart meter just stops and flatlines, and you just hear her crying even harder, and then it goes into the next track. I'm like, this whole album is just so sad. And I'm like, God, it's just amazing. It's an amazing piece of art. Amazing piece
One
of
of these days, I'm chance.
It's just really well written. I think his mindset, everything, like all the troubles that he had in his life, he could still remain like sarcastic, kind of positive about it, even after all that shit. Like that's like strength right there, man. Well, he died of heart failure, which sucks. That's just one of those things that happens when you do cocaine and alcohol.
When you're doing all these fucking drugs,
and then you stop.
Well, I mean, even if you keep going, you're already fucked.
But that's what's keeping you alive, to be honest.
Nah, I would not always agree with that.
Not always, no. I think he did get clean, and I think after he's clean for about a year or two, that's when he died. So
you are slow. I'm waiting to go get more.
Well, we'll do that. We'll do that. I got one more album to say real quick, and then we'll go on break. And then no, I was quickly running through them. I always work my drinks out to go with the breaks. So, but
I just drink.
The good thing about having Miles here is that Miles can kind of just talk to the audience while we run off and get
empty shit.
Yeah. So we can't actually like entertain anyone with anything while we run off.
We did it in rotation.
We could do that too.
I'm not good at entertaining people.
You're gonna have to try. You can try, and I'll make the drinks like that. I'll get the drinks and make the drinks. Yeah, I'll make the drinks. I'll pretend to be Robert. Is he watching right now?
Robert, are you watching? No, it's probably at work.
He's at work. I think that's why he was watching last time, because he wasn't at work. He did it really late.
Yeah, because it was like we started it when he got home.
I'm trying to weigh the best time to do this at. I think 11 p.m. is kind of, we're testing this out to see how this feels. But we got a shit ton of viewers at like 3 in the morning.
I know, right?
I don't know why that is.
Because it's just tired people that are like, whatever, let your furries fucking around, I'll listen to it.
We're already...
While I jerk off and touch myself.
That's either in the background
Just listen to some assholes talk about stupid shit while I kill people in Counter-Strike.
Nothing like that.
Is that...
No. I try not to.
No, you just focus. Yeah, you gotta... Yeah. You gotta hear bitches creeping up on you, and you turn around and knife them in the face.
This dude, I was watching streams about...
I wish you could knife people in the face. I feel like shit tons of damage.
And see, like, the animation face it, and it gives headshot.
Headshot knife. Like an execution or something.
No, it was, like, that game is so intense. They're talking about, like, the War Owl, like, his YouTube, he's talking about... Yeah, it's just shadows. You gotta look at the shadows and the location of every map, so you're aware of every corner where these shadows.
Shadows help me so much, dude. Actually,
yeah.
I bet that's one people like. I'm always watching where light sources are coming from, and then like I'll set myself up so I can always see people's shadows coming around before they come around. There
are little things about this game that you just gotta learn.
It's okay. So is it? I don't know if it's true or not, because like even though internet is a thing, I just didn't bother to look it up. Yeah. One of my friends on Facebook posted that CSGO is going to be in the next X Games.
But I don't know about that, but I've never heard that before. But
like, that would be fucking cool as
epic.
Shit.
If it is, that's epic.
In the X Games. Like, that's fucking
Why not? Why the fuck not?
Is it really that extreme?
It's a competitive game though.
Oh god, no.
I mean, like, you look at League and you look at CS, and they're like one of the top 2 games that people play competitively.
Yeah, those are the top 2.
It is really one. You know what's funny though about League? I've been wanting to actually play it. I just am afraid to. I don't want to play it by myself. I feel like I'm gonna be like a silver. I am terribly. People are gonna get
honestly though,
people are gonna get
silver like higher silver, like silver 1 or 2. That's still even pretty good.
You're gonna get so mad.
Just the average shows that's actually pretty good.
League is scary. It's just you gotta learn all these different characters and stuff. It's different. Yeah, just knowing like guns.
Like I seriously think there's still like 100 different characters now or some shit, and you gotta learn all of them.
I played like 3. I played 3 characters. Like I actually like Garen. I enjoyed playing as
Garen's fun.
Calvin told me that I would like him if I played
Q, just Q charge and boom!
He told me it's an easy character to learn, and it's actually fun to play. And I said, all right, I'll try it. And I was like, yeah. It's pretty simple, and it's a little easier, I guess, not jungling. But I don't mind the concept of jungling. But apparently they changed jungle rounds, so I really should have started playing.
Everything just changed.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Actually, a lot of people find it a lot more fun now, which is cool.
Now, see, I'm trying to remember the last album I picked because I know those were my top 4, which were Tools and Eva, with fucking In Absentia by Porcupine Tree, Typo Negative when Coming Down, and Double Dress Blue in the Face. And there's a 5th one that probably was one of those toss-ups in my head that I had to like pick between like a whole spread of albums, but I can't remember what I chose. So I'm just gonna like think about it real quick, and I don't know. I don't know what I would have picked. Because, I mean, like, there's a lot of shit that I've liked over my life. And I know that there's some albums like Soundgarden, Super Unknown was really epic. Even Nirvana's Nevermind was, like, a big part of my life when I was younger. Because I think even Nirvana was my favorite band at the time in middle school. But, man, I don't know. I'm thinking of, like, my favorite band. Okay, here, how about, I think it might have been Incubus. Incubus is, now I would say Science now. But if I want to say really influential albums of my time, I would say Incubus is, the one with Drive.
Like I said, I'm terrible with names.
No, I know this. Morning View, Make Yourself. Make Yourself is a great album all the way through. I love everything about it. That album, it has a great kind of message in general. I think Brandon Boyd, when he writes these songs, they're really good. Incubus is a solid band. Even through their lower points, they're still a solid band. I think their most recent effort, though, not my style. I can acknowledge that it was a really good album because there are 2 really amazing tracks, Adolescence and Isidore. Top 2 favorite tracks off the newest album. But the rest of the album itself, it's too slow. It's not the Incubus I really like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bunch of soft tracks. It's like, it feels like a bunch of Stellar. Like that Stellar track that everybody loves. It's just a bunch of like slow, mellow tracks. And I'm like, where's the Incubus with the energy? And I'm like, oh right, you guys are 35 now. I forgot.
Hey man, what does that have to do with anything?
People just tend to level off at a certain point. Like, you look like a fucking Stain. The guy's writing country songs now. So is another band. John just showed it to me. He said, I think it was Theory of a Dead Man or Default. One of their guys is doing country now, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't like country.
I hate most country, but I can say there are a few songs.
There's a couple songs I like.
I really do. It is going to sound bad, but I really do enjoy If I Die Young by the band Perry or whatever. It's a great song. If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down in a bed of roses. You never heard that before? Wow. That's like one of those radio tracks that I think a lot of people have heard.
I actually haven't listened to the radio.
I think it might even be on regular stations, like Kiss, The Mix. But we're gonna get more drinks. I think. Let me finish this real quick.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna sit here and talk to everyone.
Oh.
So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have your water, and you're gonna talk about the intricacies of your games that you play. I don't know. Talk about video games. And just
Intricacies?
what do you want to drink? And I'll go get it.
What do you want to make me?
What do you want?
Surprise.
Well, do you want a mixer or do you want just the beer?
Okay, surprise me.
I'll get you 2 things. I'll surprise you. I'll surprise you with using the rest of what I've got, and then we'll work from there. How about that?
Works for me. I got water with a cute little bunny thing.
That is Motor City FurCon's logo. That is MCFC, aka FCN Part 2, and Novi, Michigan, one of the greatest cons of all time. And if you guys don't know what that is, in my opinion, when you go to this con, it is the biggest party con, the biggest friend con, the con where you go and you meet people and everybody loves everyone. It is the best bonding experience I've ever had at any con every year. Every year.
Consistent.
That's pretty good. That's why it's my favorite con.
And I've never been to
You have not, and I wish you would go. I know everyone's kind of put off by it because it's in Michigan, What?
Actually,
I know it's Detroit.
Every
I understand
every
it's
single time. Like the first couple years, we all started going to cons. That's when I was unemployed, so it's like, oh, can't go, no money.
I got Robert to go. I told you. I said, if you get the offer,
Didn't he go twice?
Yeah. That's because everyone bailed on me for my room, and I was like, I need people to room with me. I'm gonna have to pay for this anyway. Just come and stay in my room. So we got Cameron and Robert.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
It was just awesome because it was just Robert and Cameron, and like it's two cats. Robert like this house cat thing, and then Cameron, who is like this big giant tiger with this big ego. And it's just funny because he's not even a furry, but he has that cat persona. He's really kind of quiet, and he doesn't like people, and he likes to be by himself, and he's really fucking intelligent. And him and Robert bonded, and it was the best. It was the bonded. They went, wow. You had Robert doing Cameron's hair.
What?
It's on video.
What?
It was like a cat licking the other cat. It was amazing. It was the funniest shit in the fucking world.
Robert's probably gonna be great.
He's gonna watch this and laugh, but it was hilarious. I was sitting there watching this going, this is fucking great.
Alright, so you go make some drinks.
Yeah.
I'll try and talk about some video
games. Talk more about WoW or League or something, or WoW CS. Or anything.
League. What can I say?
What can you say? I mean, there's no number of things you can say, but
I can say how
I gotta say this for when I edit though. We'll be right back. Otherwise,
and we'll just cut that part out.
Greetings for another strange combos in my mouth. This here is Pete, good friend of mine, and you have a combo for me.
Yes, the combo is beer and Oreo.
But that wasn't enough for me, so I decided to spice it up. Milkshake, right?
Milkshake, you got it.
Yeah, not really a milkshake though.
Beer shake, yes.
The beer shake, yeah. Not very thick though. Not very thick, kind of chunky.
Yes.
It smells wonderful.
Smells
like Oreos.
It does.
And
well, it's kind of like tar.
Kind of like tar.
It does.
Kind of like tar. Give her a shot.
Going down well. I like it. Should we just try the rest?
Liquid Oreo is what I'm getting right now.
Liquid Oreo. When I told on a regular basis, I like to eat cookies and drink beer.
Eat cookies and drink beer, yeah.
And this is a perfect combo.
This is way too much Oreo. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's good. It gets you drunk too.
Mm. Oh my god.
Got a drunk?
So how many yeah, I did. You know how you sometimes get milkshakes that are, you gotta chew the bits and it gets annoying at times? I don't mind this too much because it tastes, you already taste the Oreo. Mm-hmm. You kind of expect to just chew it anyways. So it's a welcome sort of thing. Plus that part usually has the cream in it, and I've always found it to be the best part.
You can for sure taste it in here.
I can't taste the beer though.
I can a little bit.
You can a little bit? Your palate's more developed than mine at this point.
Okay.
Huh? Mm-hmm. Let me see yours. Oh my god. Oh my god. Do they have any Oreo yogurts, by the by? Because I imagine this is what it tastes like. Minus like
Oreo Jello, don't it?
Minus the dairy. Yes. I'd have this over it, by the by, but damn. Holy cow.
Mm. Seal of approval for me.
I'm a little overwhelmed by the Oreo myself. But you love this stuff, right?
Yeah. I had more.
Oh my god.
To this.
This is a ridiculous Oreo shot. Oh, more beer?
And then we'll mix it up a little bit.
Give me some beer. Miller Lite. Miller High Life. Oh my god.
Yeah, come on, champagne and beers.
Very well. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's pour me. No, see that?
The Oreo is mulling the taste of the beer. Because the more beer you add, obviously, the more it comes as a shock.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting sweet just a moment ago. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I approve of your pastime of a snack.
Thank you.
I still think this is a bad idea, but I'm glad I experienced this. Oh my god. god.
Because I
Man,
remember
you
when
liking it. Nice.
People who have this are going to feel very strong about it, I feel. You know what I mean?
Could Oreos
Could Oreo make...
Oreo and beer.
trademark it?
Could trademark it? Obviously, it's not going
Oreo
to be...
beer.
I don't think they're going to make it pasty like this.
Birrio. Birrios. I don't know. You need a good stash drinking this, you know?
What are you doing? Oh my god.
This could be even good hot.
Hot?
Looks kind of like chocolate, like cocoa.
But you don't like warm beer.
Yeah, no, I'm right. Oh man, I gotta finish this.
Let's hear it for our special guest.
Special guest toast.
Special guest.
But I'm gonna say we're back now.
Oh,
back.
now
we
we're
have
back.
we have our drinks. That was just our interlude talking, which only the internet's gonna see. So if you're not watching the live stream, you don't get to see that. And suddenly, Pond has drinks. Show them all your drinks.
Lots of drinks.
You have more drinks than me.
I got some Guinness. I got a mystery drink with a green straw. I got
mystery drink. Actually, I'll tell you the truth.
Jägermeister
You want to know?
lime.
Can you guess what this is?
I'm going to guess Coke, grenadine, and rum.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's my
Mystery drink sounds cooler though.
It's called a mystery.
Because they're like, oh, what is it?
It's a big question. We should make this a question.
I don't think people were that interested.
No, they probably care at all. They're probably like. So I'm gonna repost this real quick.
Oh, reposted.
And we were talking about video games briefly, and I'm gonna check the chat just to see if anybody said anything. See if anybody can interject on something. Nobody.
No.
Check the social stream.
Oh, social stream.
These are old as hell. Old as hell. Old as hell comments.
Alright.
I don't think there's anything on FA either, except for 2 new submissions, which don't matter right now. Don't matter at all.
Man, there's so much to drink, I don't know what to do.
Well, you pick what you want to start with, because the Guinness is going to be good regardless of what. We have to take a shot first to start the second half of the
let's
show.
do that.
So we'll take the shot, which is going to be extra Red Bull on Red Bull, but I'm pretty sure Red Bull isn't. I could drink Red Bull forever, to be honest. I've grown to love it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's probably a marketing gimmick.
No, I really enjoy the flavor.
Yeah.
Lime and
there's probably something addictive in there.
if there is, I love it.
I want more.
No, I drink it. It actually really goes well with for some reason with the cinnamon vape and me drinking Red Bull. It's fucking awesome. And then that's nicotine though. It's not good for you.
Nothing's me.
And there's not enough nicotine. There's 6 or something small. It's just it doesn't do anything. I never feel an urge to smoke outside of social settings. So, and you with that water filter.
Right.
I feel like you're like me now.
I can't do it! Right. Give me a blunt or a cigarette.
You and your baby, you and your baby pink love. You got.
Trust me, they ain't pink.
They're
black
as the night.
I work in the kitchen.
There's
don't smoke way too much weed. Can I say that online?
You can, and we can just pretend it was made up.
Alright.
So he's joking.
Lying.
There's no proof.
We don't do that. That's illegal.
That's we're in Colorado.
We're supposed to do this here.
Oh yeah. Let's second half of the show.
Second half of the show.
This is where we talk about some more music. So cheers. Cheers.
Wait, no, I thought the last
we talked about your
stuff and things.
Stuff and well now it's we talked about the stuff. Now we're going to talk about things.
Oh.
Yeah. It's things time.
Oh, it's things.
Things time.
Okay. Well, now we've got that cleared up. We already did that. There we go. Not a fan of the lime. Okay.
I don't hate it, but I don't really like it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets the job done.
So, I have a list of CDs/albums. I just like to say albums as a whole. I didn't argue with somebody once about what an album is. They go, an album is a vinyl, and I'm like, no, an album is a collection of songs put on a record by an artist. they just happened to be called albums at a time because vinyl was the only thing they were produced on for a really long period of time. So I call everything an album. So I will just say albums, but you say CDs and albums.
Yeah, I just say album. But it's like, to me, CD was, it's just a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
CD is it's just a different medium. It's a different format for producing music.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's your opinion on digital? Like, just in general, like the concept of digital music.
Digital music?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, it's fine.
It's fine to me, but in my opinion, I kind of take the side of Steven Wilson when I say that I think that a lot of the life has kind of been sucked out of the music to some extent because you know, I'm more of a I like to have when I listen to albums, I like to sit down and really listen to them, and I want the best quality possible. So a CD or a record is going to give me that compared to like a stream through the internet.
Well, yeah, no, but I guess it also depends on.
And there's not physical artwork. Like there's not like with vinyl, like you get this big giant piece of artwork, or you know, gatefolds, and there's posters and shit that's inside, and just like cool stuff.
Sometimes you can still do that even with digital stuff, because with digital things you can get like a fucking file downloads. Hey, now you get all this album work, and I still need.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of bands that do that though.
Yeah, maybe not.
I just say digital doesn't feel as real. It just doesn't seem like it's as physical as like actually holding, you know, the record in your hand, the CD in your hand, and there's like a booklet you can look through that has like all the information and stuff. There's just something about it that like makes it better, like physically, like something you can touch and like hold in your hands, you know, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, digital is great because it makes things way more convenient, but I think it's sometimes it's apparently I don't think the chat's working because apparently people might be talking but we can't see it. Oh, because Raccoon Zach just said that. But if people want to chat with us, just use FA then, because I see nothing in the chat right now.
Well,
apparently it's messed up too. So if you want to comment, just comment on FA on the live stream journal or the picture I posted. So
dude, we can make a Facebook group.
We could, yeah. We get enough people to watch. We could do it now. But yeah, let's start in. We're gonna start in now. I don't know. Do you have any albums that you really liked the past few years? We'll go with one of yours, and then I'll go with one of mine, and then we'll go back and forth like that. Something that you really like that's kind of newish. If you can't think of anything, it's fine. I'll just.
Maybe not specific albums. I've been listening to a lot more hip hop recently.
All right.
So, like for artists, I'd say newer artists I've been listening to.
Yeah.
Invincible, Mortal Technique.
I've heard of them.
Sage Francis. Yeah. So, but yeah, mostly just like either individual tracks or some of my friends have sent me like playlists or set lists from shows that they've been to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, like I said, I'm not big on albums, but a lot of hip hop and rap, mainly because I just enjoy a lot of the messages. A lot of the music is uplifting, progressive. They talk about a lot of important topics and issues that mainstream media doesn't touch.
There's a question though for you. I ask a lot of people this, and I'm actually curious about YouTube people and anybody who's watching right now. Your opinion, what matters most in music for you? Is it the musical part? Is it the lyrical part? Or it could even be a combination of both?
I guess for me, it really varies because there's some artists where it's like the lyrics they put out, I don't care for, but the instrumentals make it really good.
Yeah.
Some of the music I listen to doesn't have any lyrics.
Right.
So
for me, it's the same, like Cloud Kicker or Tesseract does. Cloud Kicker, fucking Pelican, Jet, fucking heavy, no lyrical stuff.
Yeah. No, but I don't know where I was going with that.
Just what you prefer.
Yeah.
You like lyrics? You like music? You like both?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I think it depends on my mood at the time when I just want to sit down and listen to music.
For me, I think a lot of the time it's mostly just the music. Lyrics are like an instrument in itself, like vocals, just like that's an accompaniment. And if the lyrics happen to really relate to me, it makes the song even better.
Yeah. No, I think I would say I probably lean a little bit more towards lyrics, and that's why I like a lot of the songs.
You want a message.
Yeah.
You want a message.
And that's what I like about it.
I think I guess you could say that I'm more emotionally driven with music.
Mm-hmm.
You want an emotion in the message, and I just want an emotion in the music.
Yeah, but then again, a lot of the music I listen to is extremely political, and that could be why.
I don't mind.
The majority I listen to is like it's rap, rock, and punk. You know, so it's all about people's struggles and trying to get through those struggles. That's what I like. It's just hearing. I think that's what it is. It's hearing about other people's struggles, how they deal with those struggles, how they can help uplift others, through their experiences and shit. And that's what I like.
It's funny because I know you and Ernick like Rise Against for a different reason than I like Rise Against. I just really love the music, and I can see they have a deep emotional connection to like what they're singing about. It's like when Maynard Tooley talked about how he's like, yeah, when I see a band, I only get into them if they really believe in what they're talking about.
Yeah,
and the band really does.
Dude,
and they write
actually, and it's funny that you mentioned Rise Against because
I'm wearing this shirt right now, so it's
right. But I think I know at least the lead singer. He's like straight edge, either vegan or vegetarian, and to a T, from just from what I see on Wikipedia and interviews and shit like that. I don't know if the entire band is like that, but I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's fine. If you got values, they don't earn you money, and you're just trying to either better yourself or influence people to better themselves. I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
As long as you don't impose your views and say I am right, you need to do this, or I don't like you. That's another story. And Rise Against is pretty cool about it. So
but even then, in some cases, I would say certain things like that are acceptable. You got a lot of artists who call out certain powers of oppression. So fuck the police.
Oh.
Old school rap like that.
That was who was that again? Ice Cube.
Yeah,
Ice Cube. Police. Then Dope remade that. Dope remade the song. I like Dope's version. Dope's actually a pretty good band that I never checked out.
Yeah,
I feel like so many people talk about how great, and to me they're one of those alt metal bands that people kind of joke about, but I think they're probably actually pretty good, and I like stuff like that all the time. My buddy Cameron will make fun of me nonstop about how I like the shittiest fucking music, but he's all ultra hipster. I like his shit too. I love shoegaze. I love drone. That's great fucking music. It's like a wall of sound in your face. That's awesome. But at the same time, I appreciate the more easy stuff.
Yeah.
The simplistic, art. Yeah, it's not even easy listening. It's dope, but, you know what I mean? I don't know. But back on to music that I've heard in the past few years. I'm gonna go with let's pick out one of my first albums. This is
like show and tell.
It is. I have. Dude. Now this is not one of my favorite. We'll go with my favorite last one. Ultimate thing I have. That's last. But one of the best albums I heard recently. I can thank Sean from California for this. Is The Contortionist. Their Language album. This is progressive metal at its finest. They're originally more heavier and I don't know if they were thrash-esque or just straight up speed metal, kind of fast, but they changed on this album because I've checked out their older stuff and it's not as good. But holy shit, this album's fucking amazing. I wish I could. I'm gonna play a 10-second sample on the thing too. Yeah, so it'll be playing right now. So we'll just be quiet for 10 seconds. You drink. But that's epic. That's epic. You're gonna nod your head like you heard it, but it didn't actually happen. But I recommend everybody, if they're gonna check out The Contortionist, ebb and flow. That's that track I actually used for Calvin's Clutch
Okay.
on D2.
Yeah, I saw that.
Great, amazing song. It's an amazing song, and I would say anybody, if they like progressive metal, this is a great album. That was one of the biggest albums in the past year for me. I think it came out 1 year ago, 2013, 2014, something. And do you have something else, or
No, actually, I think I briefly mentioned
is it
before.
rap?
Well, yeah, no, but Condition of My Parole was, I just started listening to it in the past 3 months, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And it almost instantly became a favorite.
I really do enjoy it though.
No, a lot of the lyrics just spoke to me, because a lot of it is about trust and finding your position in life, world, and stuff like that. And I guess it just was the messages I needed to hear at the exact right time.
What-
I needed to hear
You know, whatever speaks to you for that, because if it's helping you in some way emotionally and you can relate to it, I'd say there's nothing wrong with that. You know?
Exactly. That's why, like, I try not to be a music snob. Like, if people,
Yeah, I don't either.
you know, I mean, there are certain things that I just will say I do not like.
Yeah.
But I try not to make fun of people for their musical likes or dislikes, you know, because you're either gonna like it or you're gonna not like
You're
it.
gonna
But
not-
I don't.
You don't want to diss somebody else's.
Right,
fucking-
but even then, like, I feel that any musical artist, you know, who can take the time to create their art.
as long as they're actually taking the
You know?
time, like
Yeah.
you're not like half-assing it like some artists do.
Okay, but even then, like, how can you say what's half-assed or not? Like, you aren't them. I guess you don't really know.
I personally
they can put their time and effort into.
if Nickelback really takes their time on any of their newest
Hey.
shit, I would laugh at myself. And
I mean, I guess, but like, I may say that music sucks. I'm not gonna diss someone for liking it, though. At least I try not to.
there's no
I probably did
message
do
in
that a lot
anything
at
they
one
say as of now.
Yeah, but does it matter? Like, if
Chad,
people think
Chad
it sounds
Kroger,
okay,
please
here's
tell
the-
me.
It's like, if people think it sounds good and it makes them happy,
Yeah,
what does it matter?
sure. Yeah.
You know, I know it's shitty.
No, I'm
but
just fine. You know what? I'm fine. I'm sure the Jonas Brothers do the same thing for like 16-year-old girls, and if you can relate to that, fine. Whatever.
I'm not saying
I'm gonna
I
cry.
like it.
I'm gonna cry deep down on the inside forever.
I'm not saying that every musical artist is a genius in their.
I know we can stick up for most music and shit, but there's certain things that you kind of have to really question if it's like legitimate in some way. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it really is all in the person experiencing it, so I guess I can't really say, but I know deep down there's things that make me cringe a lot. I go, oh, no thanks.
Yeah. I blame a lot of it just on the music industry, though. Like, because a lot of times things only get popular because people are going to pay radio shows to play certain music.
Mhm.
Isn't that essentially why Limp Bizkit got big to begin with?
No, well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the
I
backstory.
thought it was Limp Bizkit. Like,
Their earlier stuff, though, they might have paid them, but they wrote the music without the intention of like.
oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the record label paid radio.
Somebody did. I've heard
Yeah.
something like that
things
before.
to
That's not-
essentially try and boost popularity, and like shit like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess to me, the reason why I don't like that is because if that's what the industry has come down to, then what about the artists who actually, put their heart and soul into their work, but don't have the money to throw around for that,
Yeah.
What about that?
I think though nowadays there's a lot of underground ways to find stuff,
Yeah.
and that might sound like ultra hipster of me to say, but like seriously,
right. No, it's a lot easier now, I would say.
Last FM and like websites like Spotify, even you can get your shit posted up there for people to find a lot easier. And I think that's how a lot of music blows up now. It's just through kind of the underground, just like it's like basically record store people hanging outside and handing out.
At the same time though, I'm wondering how much just technology has almost kind of fucked up, or if it has fucked up, up and coming artists, because now you can find shit on the internet for dirt cheap or free. You know, so like, are these artists even making enough to make ends meet?
I think the people that truly care about most music like that will help support the artist.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like everybody who I talk to who really enjoys something that like somebody put their full effort in, they usually end up buying it. That, I mean, I see the point in, you know, torrents and shit not being like a good thing, but I feel like honest people will help support that artist.
Yeah.
They will go to their shows, they will buy their records, they will buy their merch, you know, they want to support something they love.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I think anybody who's just casually into something, of course they're going to steal it, because they don't care. But I think anybody that truly cares enough, they will do it.
But at the same time though, like, I'm not gonna knock people for taking, because I know not everyone has the, you know, disposable income
That too.
to get it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
You know?
If they can't afford it, then that's
Exactly.
fine. And that's why, you know, I appreciate bands like Radiohead for doing their thing where they said, you know, pay what you want. Or Nine Inch Nails, they did the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think Nine Inch Nails kind of suffered
sorry.
after that.
I'm sorry, like, personally, I think Nine Inch Nails is not that great.
They're earlier. Oh, come on, dude. Pretty Hate Machine. Are you serious?
I don't know. Like, I listen to a lot of his music, and like, it's really good for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's all repetitive.
That's a personal
It
taste.
just gets boring.
You're not an industrial fan other than KMFDM.
No, I really am.
Like KMFDM is different. That's like brute force. Nine Inch Nails is like the progressive industrial. KMFDM is brute force, 3-minute songs, message-induced songs. Like there's some like Dogma, like tracks like Dogma and shit. Like that's different. That's another little thing.
I started listening to Ministry.
Ministry's heavy and fast.
I like Ministry.
You want some really good industrial though? You check out bands like Godflesh.
No, yeah,
True industrial, like old school fucking. Dude,
how old school? Because Ministry's been around for like 40
that's
fucking
true.
years.
Yeah. All right, I guess I'm not gonna say that right now. I didn't mean like discredit Ministry, but
Like, I was just wondering
the more
what you consider old school.
Not so much old school, just like less popular artists that are making different sounding things. Because I think Ministry is one of the bands that people think of when they think of industrial.
Yeah.
And they say that is
Actually, interesting thing, like, I think it was like a Spotify something I was listening to, because, you know, like the ads in between shit. Like, a bunch of people are trying to, like, is Marilyn Manson considered industrial now?
to some extent. He always
Is he?
kind of was. He's different though. He's like a weird kind of case because he has so many styles like he incorporates in his music.
Like,
It's not so much, but because there's a machine sounding.
I will say, like, I don't like his other stuff.
I haven't heard it. All I know is my stepdad who went to one of his shows told me his newer shit isn't as good, and he seems like the guy's kind of like with the Deftones, got kind of old and fat, and just is doing it half-heartedly now. It's not as full force as, I mean, I can believe him because he saw Marilyn Manson in his prime, so he's relating his experience to like when he was like 30 or 25, like, you know.
No, I still appreciate Manson.
Well, yeah, he's got a great, he's a smart guy. He's
Yeah.
a smart guy with a good message when it comes down to it. So,
Oh my god, Manson's done some good shit. I think I should have.
anybody tuned in
I
right
should
now,
have
as you
this.
said, Manson has done some good shit. They're just thinking of like the man.
Charles.
Yeah, or they're like a Manson family or some shit. Like, nobody would know what we're talking about. So with that note, I'm gonna go back to another album that I really actually think this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna like switch this up a bit.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was gonna, because that's so related to this. I don't want to like be too similar. So I'm gonna say this was a big album this past year.
Okay.
I can thank my mom for this one because
Oh,
she
man.
gave me the actual copy of it. But Vertical Horizon, everything you want. Yeah, you've heard everything you want, or your God. Yes, you have.
I don't know.
This
I'm
is
bad with names. I
Yes.
say this all the fucking time.
they're like one of the most mainstreams of all mainstream.
Yeah, I don't even know their name.
But like seriously, this is my shit. This whole album is great, especially the track "Shackled," which I will play. Not now, not on the stream, but in the YouTube when I post it. But "Shackled" is an amazing song. So it like spoke to me during my divorce. It's just one of those fucking songs. This whole album is great though. Because it was. That's what it felt like. She took the kids. Mike.
I felt so shitty that I had to be here for that because I did not know what to do. Because I was like the entire time I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I remember you guys were just like, we gotta go now.
Yeah. Miles is
gotta-
just like, so we're gonna leave.
No, it's it's all said and done, but one of those things. It's just that Vertical Horizon, fucking that album, is just awesome. It's all around. It's pretty. It's they're akin to Fuel. I think Fuel's a great band. I think their earlier stuff, their first two albums are really good. Like Sunburn, epic album, and then
Well, why don't you wear some lotion?
I have no idea.
Or is it sunscreen? Do you say sunscreen or sun?
I say sunscreen. Yeah. If you actually say sun lotion.
I interchange it, I guess.
I don't know.
I say both.
I say sunscreen because that's
What about sunblock?
No.
No.
That's Copper Tone. That's their brand. That's their little.
That's only a specific brand.
Yeah, that's the sun. We're blocking the sun.
Blocking.
We're not just screening the sun. We're blocking it.
Blocking it. We don't want any of it.
No sun for us. We will rather be pale.
Hey, I do love.
We don't need your
I enjoy my
vitamins.
All
Your
right.
D vitamins. We don't need
Vitamins.
them. It's a D.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. That's
Produce
in
vitamin D.
Sorry, I don't know these things.
You should.
D was the grade I got. Something about learning that in school.
You don't even know what you got D in. That's probably why you got
Definitely
D
it was
in
probably math.
Really? That's funny.
Fuck math.
Math is so easy.
Fuck
It's
math.
just numbers.
Yeah, and I like math rock. But no, like seriously, yeah, it's just numbers, but it's a lot of numbers and I don't care. I don't care about any of that.
Guys, this is numbers.
What am I-
I'm sorry, I don't do numbers.
I deal with it at work all the time. Actually.
Exactly. Like, how do? Yeah.
But on to the next album. So we got the Contortionist Language, followed by Vertical Horizon's Everything You Want. Next on the list was something from 2013, which Glocky actually showed me. Because I was looking at a lot of singer-songwriter at the time. He showed me some of his solo stuff, and this was an amazing record I found. Iron and Wine. I think the album's called The Shepherd's Dog. Yep, The Shepherd's Dog. This album, really soft, really melodic, just guitar work, lots of folkness in it. It's just basically folk, but it's so fucking awesome. Raccoon, Zach, I know you're kind of watching right now. If you want to hear some folk, this is awesome. Iron and Wine is awesome. So I think you'd like this. It's just all around.
I'm assuming American folk.
Yeah, I think so. For sure, yeah. But this was really good. There's a lot of great tracks on here. The whole album is just solid all the way through. And it was just one of those things that I remember there's a few pieces of art I've drawn while listening to this. And once again, I'll play some. This is really good.
Quite.
Thank you. So this was another album that spoke to me throughout my life, the 2013 era.
I have so much to drink.
I know you do. The Guinness can be the downturn. We're not going to stop the stream just because we finished with the movie. We keep going and see that.
Good.
Yeah. We got 3 hours. That's when the thing tells us we're done.
Oh. And then it just kicks you off and says, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, it stops the episode at 3 hours.
And then we cry.
Well, we've been going for almost 2, and I'm almost done. And you got any more music you gotta say? Because I know I didn't prepare you for like.
Right? Yeah. No.
You already did your top 5, but if there's anything you heard recently you would like a lot. I don't want
honestly,
to take the show away by...
I haven't actually been, at least recently, I haven't been looking into new music. I've just been revisiting a lot of old music. I kind of blame work, though, because when I'm at work, like, all I do is listen to music all day as I cook and clean and do other random shit. So I just try to listen to stuff that I've already heard so that I don't need to pay attention to the music.
As much as I want
It's
to
just
listen to
shit
stuff
I
at work,
can just, zone out to and just do grunt work.
as much as I know I want to listen to music at work, I know that I can't truly focus on it there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of times when I want to hear something, I either want to like make sure I make a point of sitting down and actively listening to it, so I get the full effect of like what I'm listening to. But at work, I would still prefer to hear something, so I know what you mean, where you want to like hear just the stuff you're used to. But I feel like at that same, with that same logic, you'd get sick of it because you're hearing the same thing. You're kind of killing what you like to someone.
Well, yeah, I guess. I change it up every day. Like, each day I try to have a genre. That's why I like Spotify. Like, I'll put one or two artists on each day.
I just love Spotify because it
Kinda like-
streams in my car.
Yeah. So like, today I was listening to Wu-Tang Clan, Spotify. Whereas a couple days ago I was listening to System, Spotify.
Dude, I'll tell you one true story. Every time I have my regular roof off, always blasted Straight Outta Compton by NWA. I'm not even kidding you. It's like the best thing to listen to when you're just fucking cruising, man. All last summer, I take the roof off and just fucking play that shit. It's great. It's fucking great. It gets you just like, you're just ready to fucking roll, dude. I love it. And it's funny, his first goes, "Oh, that's my shit." I'm like, "Oh, dude, you know exactly what I'm talking about." And he likes all this like indie stuff.
Really?
Talking to Ferks, he likes really weird indie. He likes he's a Modest Mouse fan. And I know Raccoon Zach is too.
Robert would like this.
I can't stand that, man.
Really?
I just hate his vocals. He's irritating.
Okay.
The way he sings is irritating.
I mean, I guess I can kind of get that. Just kind of like how I get people don't like Rush because of Geddy Lee's voice.
Yeah, but I enjoy the music, so his voice doesn't. It gets overruled by like everything else. But it's so unique.
Funny thing, when I very first heard Rush, I thought it was a chick. Vocalist
I might have,
for the few
but that was
tracks I
a
heard.
long time ago.
Yeah.
What made me really happy recently was I found, I was able to find something I've been looking for in the record selection at my local store exclusive company. I've been looking for Stand Up by Jethro Tull for forever. And I was able to find it. I was able to find it for like $8. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Oh my god. And it's even like in good condition and everything. You open the thing and then Jethro, like this, they all stand up. Like there's like a pop out. It's a pop out record.
It's so great.
It's awesome. Like who made a pop out record? Jethro Tull. One of their first albums, fucking epic. It's 1969 at its finest, and that's like the oldest shit I probably have. Like that, and maybe like King Crimson. Like that's as far as my musical taste goes back. Is like the end of the '60s. That's like anything earlier than that, I can't really relate to. I feel I don't
know.
The music is,
I haven't heard a lot of jazz or R&B.
I don't mind jazz,
but like I have been starting to listen to some of that, and most, I mean, I guess that's kind of an older genre. Not to say that there isn't newer jazz and R&B, because there is.
I think when you mean R&B, I feel like you just mean blues in general.
Well, yeah.
R&B is kind of a newer term.
I guess.
I know what you're saying.
It's all good.
Yeah. But next album on my list, I didn't want to kind of put it last just because I didn't want to include it with the Contortionists because they were late. But I saw this band live. It is, I should make sure this is not fucking wrong. This is Animals as Leaders. And, being a furry, blah, blah, blah. Leaders. There's a track on here called Tooth and Claw. But aside from all that great gent fucking music, it's just no vocals at all. It's just like, when I saw them live with, I'm going to talk about this band next a little bit because I just recently got a DVD of their shit, which I haven't watched yet. I need to, will do it. But I saw them live with Devin Townsend and who else? A band called Monuments. And what was really cool about seeing Monuments live was the vocalist was sick. So the guy came out and played saxophone as the vocals.
That's
And
pretty cool.
I didn't know that they didn't normally do that, so I recorded none of it.
Oh.
And I regret every minute of it because it was a rare event. The whole show was sax,
Damn.
gent music. It was like the best.
That's funny.
The only other band I've known to do that, was Tesseract. And they did it really briefly, just for like one track on their fucking newest album. And that needs to happen more often because holy shit, it worked so unbelievably well with the music
That's
style.
cool. Yeah.
It was awesome, but Animals as Leaders is a great band. They have a lot of awesome songs, and my favorite song is, let me remember here, it is The Woven Web. That is the best track from this album.
Sounds good.
So we're going to hear it, not on the street, but
Clearly.
it's not crazy. Watch it. YouTube video. Because they get like, okay.
Alright, can I just slap you?
Yeah, you can.
Sometimes I think that's necessary.
It is, because I get too restricted for it. That's not a way to solve your problems.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I think it is.
I think Sumerian has a lot of great fucking albums that they put out, but I'm just going to lead into this since I just talked about it, but I got Devin Townsend's The Retinal Circus for Christmas, and this is, let me put it the right way, this is an amazing fucking DVD. I've seen some of the shit of it, and one of these days you should check it out. It's on Blu-ray. I have a Blu-ray player finally. I've entered.
Yeah, finally.
I've entered modern
I
days.
still haven't. That's actually the thing I should have done when I built my PC. I should have just caved and spent the extra $60 I got a Blu-ray
The
player.
thing about Devin Townsend is he is like an acid trip to like watch. Like when I saw him live, every time it's always awesome. I went to see Catatonia with Devin Townsend in Illinois, co-headlining with another band that was pretty awesome. Can't remember their name, but they were.
But they were awesome.
No, they were good.
Don't remember the
They're like even a classic band. They're like a staple of like the 80s, 90s, like proggy metal.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Shit. You know, I feel bad that I can't remember the name, but they were good.
Interesting thing, I don't think I've heard, unless he's on the radio, I don't think I've heard anything from Townsend.
He's not.
He's
He's
shit. So
I can show you some, but he's pretty. He's like one of those artists who does like it's like heavy, but his style varies so much, like throughout his entire like career. Like his earlier stuff is when he was in Strapping Young Lad was different because he was really industrial metal, straight up heavy, and he's a really smart fucking guy. He's talking about like just life in general and shit in a lot of his interviews, and he talks about him expressing himself with his music, and his music sounds really angry, but he's not like an angry guy. He's like the nicest fucking friendliest person you ever meet. Like he's a really cool fucking dude. And you know, when he's explaining why he gets mad, he's like it's an expression, so he doesn't like vent on someone outside of his job. It like lets him get it all out. And I don't know, Strapping Young Lad was his more industrial metal outfit, and then he decided he was really into prog at the time, so he started making this proggy music, and I think one of his better albums is Terra. It's his early 2000s prog, kind of influenced heavy rock, metal-esque, like, sounding shit. It's great. Followed by some of his more heavier stuff, and he's basically the guy, if you ever seen him in like rock magazines back in the day, he was the guy who invented the skullet. It's like he was balding and he had hair down to here, and when he shaved it off and he was going with the bald look now, he said the reason he shaved it off is because he went to get like a loan, and he said he realized I can't come in and get a loan with looking like Krusty the fucking Clown. He's like, there's no way people are gonna take you seriously looking like that at all. So he shaved it all off. He's going with the bald. But man, when I saw him live with Animals as Leaders, it was great because he came out and he's like, "Hey guys, I just woke up. So we drank a Red Bull, ready to go. But I really got a shit. So we're gonna truck it through this one." And I'm like, dude, the sense of humor with this guy, I love it when they have, like, the dude, okay,
When they're personable.
Devin Townsend created a whole, like, character based around, like, he I don't like operas and, like, musicals, but he created, like, a rock opera revolving around an alien from outer space that he manifested in a puppet form called Ziltoid the Omniscient. And this character, he came to Earth in search of coffee because he needs it to refuel himself so he can dominate the universe.
Did you make a Steam?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Ziltoid
He
the
came-
Destroyer.
Ziltoid the Omniscient, and then in the thing it probably said something about destroying the world. And he came to Earth in search of the world's finest coffee. And he came down and he goes, "You have 5 minutes, Earthlings." And then he was disappointed, so he went to get the Planet Smasher. And this is a whole rock opera album. And then at the very end of the album, as it cuts out, it's all in some guy's head as he's singing "Working at Starbucks." It was the best. Like, that's this dude's sense of humor. It's
That's
fucking awesome. Devin Townsend's amazing. I didn't expect to love him when I saw him live that one time with Catatonia, but I'm so glad I bought a tour shirt just because it happened to say "I am a lucky animal" on the back. And I was like,
Of course you would.
I'm like, that's cool because I'm a huge fucking furry nerd, and that's gonna, like, relate to me. But seeing him live just made it even better, and then ever since then I've been a huge fan. So sometimes seeing a band live kind of does that.
Oh yeah.
Like Rise Against Steve, it made me love more when I saw him live. So
There's a lot of bands that I've come to appreciate more after seeing.
yeah,
I think it takes a lot to put on a good show. You know, you need a certain mindset. You need to put off a certain amount of energy, and if you can't do that, it's not a good show.
but I showed my DVD, and now I'm going to show you my all-time favorite album. All-time of the last year. What is it? It's on vinyl form, actually. It's a big, giant picture thing, because it's huge, because it's record. It's a band by the name of Shearwater, and Ernick actually showed me this band, and Animal Joy is the name of the album, and I'll tell you the story behind this one. This album, I know Ernick, we went to AC on a whim last summer. It was kind of like, it was 4th of July weekend, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to go, but Dreykus is like, "No, dude, we'll get a room, stay down there." I'm like, "Where are we going to room with?" Originally, it might have been with Baby Furs, and I was kind of terrified. But then Derek saved the fucking day. Thank you, Derek and Dan. Not that I couldn't handle rooming with Baby Furs, but I know that they want to do their little things regardless of me. So I'd be like, cringing the whole time. But I would be tolerant of it. But what ended up happening was Derek ended up in the room he was in. The guy bailed on him, so he ended up transferring the room into his name, and we ended up rooming at the Marriott, which was great because it was like right in front of the hotel. And we basically settled in there. So long story short, we got there that weekend, and I was dead fucking tired because I drove the whole night into the morning without sleeping because I left work and got there like Friday afternoon, 4th of July, or I think it was 4th of July, maybe 3rd, something like that. But they were shooting fireworks off that night. I said, I need to wake up for this. So I took a nap after having like a drink and food, and then we passed out in the room. And I remember Ernick was showing Derek music, and we had passed out, and I woke up to a song that just was so amazing. And it fit the mood of the whole con. Like, I remember waking up to this song, just hearing it as Derek's laying on the bed, and everyone's got the lights down low, and there's one light in the room just on in the corner, like right where the bathroom kind of is. It's just kind of illuminated. Outside, it's dusk as the sun's setting and shit. And this song is playing, and just like it made me like everything just felt right in the world. It was awesome, and I was just like, holy shit, this is a great fucking track. This fits the atmosphere. And I said, "What is that?" And he goes, "Oh, it's Shearwater. I've showed you that before." I'm like, "I don't remember, but show me more." And then he gave me a link to the album, and I checked him out on Spotify after that. And I was like, "Holy shit, dude, this is just a great album." And I would say Insolence is one of my favorite tracks, and Animal Land is one of my favorite tracks. And really, the whole album is great. this is probably the best thing I've heard recently. And I just ordered their album Rooks on vinyl. It's coming in the mail. And The Snow Leopard is another great track. It's funny that I actually had a conversation with Ernie about that. I said, why do a lot of the music that I like relate to things that I already enjoy? And he said it's possible that the people just have a similar thought pattern to like you. You know, it's like you enjoy the same stuff they kind of do, and they write the same kind of music that you would like. So you just think similarly. It's like people that like the same music tend to either
hold the same ideas.
Yeah, and like become friends, become in relationships. It's just a similar thought process, I think.
It's because I think people's taste in music is normally a very deep personal thing. Whether people view or see it as such is up for debate, but you know, most people are only going to listen to music that they can identify with.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what it comes down to.
So when we're gonna take a quick break here so I can pee.
All right.
But after that, we're gonna go into how music then affects everybody, as you know, like just how it relates to culture and whatnot, and what we think about music as a whole. So Pon's gonna talk to you again. Well, do you have to go to the bathroom either? Or you just good?
I should try.
You should force it out.
I should try.
We can sit here for a minute too. You finish your drink, I'll finish mine. We'll just talk about whatever until that point. All right. So
I can go off camera and smoke. Some smoke. That's what I'm doing.
smoke some smoke.
Smoke.
Just don't ruin the.
I'm just gonna ruin everything. I'm just gonna run into it all. I'm gonna see who's messaging me on Facebook. That's right, I still have that second burrito.
It's not bad yet.
I mean, it's not bad.
Just been sitting out.
Whatever. Who the fuck cares? It's not like there's meat or cheese or dairy.
Johnny, what are you calling me? Johnny, are you trying to talk to me about memes again?
I make millions of dollars.
Okay. I know you make millions of dollars, Johnny. But no matter how much you give me, I will never, ever endorse memes.
Why not?
Some people just don't like memes.
I'll let you bang my sister.
Are you truly bribing me with sex with your sister to like memes? I don't... Man, I used to be a nice guy before memes got into our lives.
I'm still a nice guy.
You're taking over the world, man.
Well, GG, kid.
Whatever. I'm never gonna like memes.
So I heard you don't like me.
Johnny?
Prepare to get me. You ready to get memed?
Johnny, don't do it!
Get 360 memes, go! Where'd he go?
Johnny, please don't! Don't do it! Okay. You know what, Johnny? You may make millions of dollars a year, but I know of someone that makes $70,000 a year. You know what, kid? You may make millions of dollars, but I know a kid who's past his prime, and guess what? He's a better meme ambassador than you'll ever be.
Memers can't die.
Or Ustream did not do it with the right image.
That happens. Alrighty. Hey, I'm back.
It's nice. There's a cloud now.
It's not a cloud.
Look at that.
No,
What is that?
That's nothing, dude.
This is
That's a ghost.
it's a
Holy shit, that's like ethereal material. Fascinating. Oh, maybe it's just
You're
that.
terrified, but yeah, that's my name. I'm Alex. This film moved the smoke. I'm a cloud chaser. I got monster coils in this bitch. I wired them all myself. It's fucking got a DNA 30 in it. Giant battery pod.
That shit just, like, all of it just seems too expensive.
I'm just here. I like the flavor.
I understand the hobby though. It's just like I like working with my hands. Like that's why I like building. Like if I could, I would love to just sit there and build computers. I could do that all day. Coincidentally, one of my friends actually just got a job doing just that. He builds computers and servers to like customers' needs. So he like. I'm assuming a lot of it is like businesses ordering shit that needs to get put together, and then he's the one who assembles everything.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Previously, he was a Microsoft rep for Southeast Wisconsin. So he was the guy going to all the GameStops, setting up their shitty Xbox, displays and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, back to the topic at hand. We got, I think, 30 minutes left. Back to the music. We're going to bring up music's influence on culture now. So, about 30 minutes to talk about this before live stream crashes and ends. And I think I will keep broadcasting if we still want to talk.
Yeah.
Whoever's still out there. But this won't be in the edited video that gets posted on YouTube. So, your opinion. Music throughout the ages, I would say at least as long as music has really existed in kind of a mainstream format all the way back to the 1700s, it's had somewhat of an influence on just culture in general because, you go back in time and you say even like jazz music or like you could say Elvis and shit, classical music is what it's considered now. It has spoke to people on a very primal level.
Well, I think it goes further than that. Like, music has been around as long as language has been around. Probably, maybe even before that.
So would you say it's like another form?
Yeah, it is. Because it's a form of self-expression. It literally is art.
Yeah.
And it's exactly similar. Yeah, it's very similar to drawing a picture or creating a sculpture. It's just utilizing either instruments or words or even beatboxing or using the body itself as an instrument. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of forms of that. I guess I don't know what they're called.
I'm really curious to know like how ancient tribes, like Native Americans did like a lot of musical kind of like chants and events where it was centered around like a drum beat and chanting and shit. It meant something to them, so they were expressing themselves through music. Through either like even war drums or anything like that. Like it's just it's kind of influences their emotions it's just them expressing their current state of mind or whatever, and it influences the people around them to do the same.
Yeah, well, I would say there's different types of music. There's music that is meant to influence, and then I think there's also music that's meant to maybe reflect or like something that you.
Would you say there always has been something like that then?
Yeah,
for as long as
I would think so. Yeah, because with some music, some people use music to try and get others to make join a cause, whereas other music may be a form of expression in the sense of, hey, this is how I feel maybe about a certain subject, or just this is just how I feel, and then they hope that other people can connect to that, so there's multiple different reasons why people create music, and I think that is really neat, I'm not huge, like, I don't know a whole lot about anthropology, but I would love to actually study, music throughout the ages since the beginning of time.
I guess I relate to a lot of the music through the last maybe 50 years. Because I know that in the 60s, music was a lot of like empowerment, kind of like how it is now. So with bands like Rise Against, Rage Against the Machine, something with like a big message. In the 60s, it was more like self-expression, becoming more true to like life and less reserved, like kind of breaking the powers of like the kind of like the powers that kind of control you and the chains that bound you to like how you're supposed to be.
Well, honestly, I think that's the basis for a lot of music all throughout history, not even just in the past 50 years, because that's something people can identify with. Spoken word, storytelling, poetry, that like, especially when it comes to poetry, especially if it's spoken form, a lot of people see that as music, and that is storytelling, that is history telling. Before there was written history, it was all spoken word. It was all verbal, through stories, through songs, and that's great. Like, I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
And
because jazz was big in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
So you got that, which I think jazz was an uprising against like just like the kind of rigid rules they had back in the times. It came out of African American like culture. Like that was where
it's their way of thriving, trying to take back what is theirs.
Well, they were just trying. Yeah, they were trying to express themselves, and they expressed it musically to say, hey, finally we're like free. We can kind of somewhat express ourselves. Like, granted, there's still powers of oppression, and people are still super racist. So they're like, hey, man, this is us. They're trying to relate now to everyone. They have an ability to now kind of voice themselves out there, and they're doing it in a time period when it was really, still super. There was still polarization, like hardcore polarization within the culture. Jazz is so good. It's so emotional. It's very emotional.
Yeah.
I like you say, there's certain music for like to promote a message, but at the same time, I know there's music in general that's kind of super emotional in a way. Like, that's the shit I relate to. Something like, it's kind of like prog music. It tells a story for me. Like, it's a giant epic. It's basically modern classical music. Like, that's why I really like it.
Well, yeah, no, like, a lot of people say that, like, there's no more classical music being produced. It's like, no, you're just not looking for it. There's plenty of classical music being produced.
I was telling Sean in California, I was like, Shearwater for me almost is like the modern Jethro Tull. And then he makes fun of me and goes, that's dad music. And I'm like, kinda, yeah. I mean, yeah, my dad did show me Jethro Tull, but that doesn't make it any more or less valuable. Because I think right? that generation, there's a certain level of like I think generations that you can still kind of relate to, and I think your grandfather's era is still somewhat related. They might not have like the same issues going on that you do now, but
I think
the emotions,
any time period can find relatable music. I think if you really dig and
but only until recently has it been documented as much.
Yeah, no, because like actually interesting thing, like there's been a lot of studies done, and according to certain studies that I've found, they say that people who like metal are somewhat similar to those who find classical music.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, and it's really funny because actually a lot of me and my friends, like my buddy Tyler, who I work with,
Tyler and I relate on music.
Super into metal, but it's funny because me and him are also really into classical. Like,
I haven't actually heard any really good classical stuff, but that's because
like just the other day he posted, I think what was it, like maybe Bach or some shit like that. He posted on Facebook, and I was just like, yes, thank you, some old school
something
music.
With a lot of emotion.
Right? No, but it's fun.
This isn't
like
Katy Perry.
No, part of me also, though, I think it's because when I was in elementary school, I actually played the cello. So I, started with playing, a lot of them old orchestral, like symphonies.
You did music, you did Cub Scouts, you were an involved kid, weren't you? I was the kid who didn't want to do anything. My parents took me out of Cub Scouts
like for some reason I was kind of maybe not forced into, I guess maybe coerced into originally.
My dad was just like, you should play baseball. Your name is a baseball player. You need to be a pro pitcher. That's not happening, right? I was like, I enjoy sports.
But I'll own some noobs and Counter-Strike for you, Dad.
That's esports, Dad. It's all about the esports.
Right.
And then my brother almost went out and played pro.
I wish I could have. I could have honed my skills. But now, because of my work and using my hands all the time,
Arthritis!
right? I don't know if it's arthritis or carpal tunnel or lupus or what the fuck, but yeah.
Carpal tunnel is where your wrist is.
Fingers. Like, from what I heard, like, carpal tunnel will be your first 3 fingers. So, like, thumb, index, middle finger. But the other 3 is, and it'll, like, shoot up and, like, up into the elbow area. From what I heard, that could be something of lupus. Because I actually had...
You're web emptying yourself, aren't you?
No, actually, this is from coworkers who legitimately have lupus. Like, yeah, 2 of the coworkers...
Don't try not to scare yourself into something like that.
Yeah, no. Actually, no, I'm fairly certain it's carpal tunnel. Like, it's mostly, middle hand region. Just because I think I use my hands for everything all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's just from overuse, not enough downtime. Because I cook for a living, and I'm working in a kitchen, so I do a lot of cleaning and working with my hands. And then when I get home, my hobbies are tinkering with computers or games, or it's there's no downtime. So they're gonna get worn out, and I'm gonna be like, I can't play.
Well, I don't know. For me,
back to turn-based games. I'm cool with that. No, actually, lately I just started playing Fire Emblem for the 3DS. So that's a turn-based game. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
No, I'm sorry. It's a tactical RPG.
Okay. Sorry, I only play one game. I only play CS. That's it.
One game only.
I gotta get really good at it.
No, you play more than that. You play Need for Speed.
I used to. People don't latch onto the game. I was actually surprised when I played it recently and still was able to get a match for Need for Speed Hot Pursuit that we won 2010 or 2011. I was like, oh, I still get matches on this, but nobody's really good at it. Nobody plays it to the point where they get really good at the game.
I'm sure there were when it was big when it first came out.
I like racing. I like racing, but I also like cars. So. It's one of those it's a niche that people don't care enough about, because car guys usually like to work on real cars, and anybody who really likes cars, they like realistic car games like Gran Turismo or whatever. And I'm over here playing Need for Speed an arcade style racer because it's competitive, but the people who play it, there's less people who play it seriously, and more people who just want to play it casually.
We got back to video games, so
I don't
talk about music.
Well, yeah,
Basically, music has changed culture a lot.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I don't know how else to elaborate on that, though. I mean, we've got kind of what we needed to say. Do you have anything else to say about it?
Go ahead. Music is a thing. So
It's
through a lot of fucking
I think
shitty
I think
fucking
for anybody,
times.
it does that. Anybody who truly likes any art form, art in general is an expression to get out emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So, drawing, whether you do physical art or you listen to music or you make music or you write, anything art related, art is an expression.
Yeah.
Now it makes you wonder about the people who don't appreciate art. What does that make them?
That scares me.
I'm just curious. No, I'm just curious.
No,
Yeah,
like that legitimately scares me. If you can't appreciate any form of art, like,
how do you express themselves? Do you just bottle it up inside and keep it all in?
right?
You can't even talk to anybody.
But then again, I guess there's also other people who maybe don't feel emotion or don't feel emotion the same
most
way.
people sound boring.
We feel emotion.
Most people are boring. That's how it sounds like.
Well, yeah, but we should not try to delegitimize their experiences in life.
I'm just curious about them because I want to know how they express themselves. Is it just through talking? Do they only relate to close like relationships? Like they can only talk to their significant other, or family? Or how do they express themselves? Are they just floating through life?
Do they not need to express themselves? Can they maybe not express themselves? Is it the lack of the ability to express themselves?
And then is it our culture that created that?
So many questions
that are left to answer.
I know.
That,
Fucking people are difficult and confusing.
yeah, but it's awesome and interesting.
I know. Right? No, I agree.
Rude and dumb.
That's why, like, I may have like anxiety issues and shit, but people are fascinating.
I am so
I
glad
find people fascinating.
as much as I think it's weird because my father, he has so much anxiety all the time, and
That's partly due to just life experiences.
yeah, you could say that too. I mean, if you think about it, yeah, you're probably right because his dad left him when he was 8, just ran out, and then he had to deal with growing up with a single mother who had an abusive stepfather. So there's that, and then he wanted the best life for his kids, and then it was all taken away from him.
Yeah.
I know. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I think there's some issues there. Your dad should probably know the
He
therapy.
does. He did it for a long time.
Does he still?
Not anymore. He's got Rusty.
He should. No, he should.
He's got my step.
And Rusty too should probably know therapy.
No, she knows everything. She's got the answers for everything. Oh, she doesn't
She's
watch
secretly
this.
watching. Right?
Every 1 to 2 in the morning.
Hey,
Oh, fuck
she
it.
might, dude. You
She's
don't
gonna
know.
get mad at me.
If it's not this, it's about something else.
You know what I say? I'm sorry. You are, and I don't hate anybody. So I don't. If she actually watched this, she's never gonna tell anybody. I'm the most level-headed person when it comes to. I don't start fights. I try to end them. Actually, it comes down to it. I have what I need to say, and then I'll I'm gonna fight. We brought up the fist.
I'm sorry that your buttons are distracting me.
Are they? I like my buttons.
You got infected.
By Rusty's other Rusty. There's 2 Rustys in my life.
So many Rusties.
This is the Rusty that makes versions that made my Hellhound
Okay.
that no one has seen, and
I've seen
you have seen it, but no one else has because they never wear it, which makes me feel bad.
felines and canines.
That is a animal rescue that I think this was Sarah's. I think this was Sarah's button she got for free or something. Or
There's a
donated.
Therian one. Is that a wolf paw?
Wolf Paw, and then
91.7.
91.7. Yep. Okay.
I had a button. It's still on my back.
I like this. I like buttons to some extent. And it was funny. It was really funny because when we were at the bar, you got to meet my grandmother, and she goes, "You're going to end up just like my brother." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He had a whole hat full of buttons. And I'm like, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Grandma, that is something I never knew before. Like, that is just really weird." I'm like,
Your grandma's great.
she's
I met her.
really
I
interesting
met her
person.
twice though,
Yeah.
because she was at the bar the other
She's
time.
just super fucking
She
chill.
was at the Paragon.
As much shit as she went through, she just is just the chillest
Just
fucking person.
It's all the weed and beer.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. And you know what? She's like had like, I got 2 sides of my family. I got my dad's side, and I got my mom's side. They equally have both their problems, and it's not super negative completely, but everyone has like their issues, but they all kind of manage it differently. And my mom's side is a little more reserved, but they're a little more emotional, but only if you break into them. My dad's side is a little more open, and everybody wants to like love everyone and shit. But they have their fucking
Wow.
addictions. You know, they have their like.
That's how families work.
It's weird. It's weird.
See, my family, everyone is like fake as shit, so they'll be nice to your face, talk shit behind your back.
I don't know if I could do it.
Like, dude, it seriously seems like everything in my family is just built on lies.
That
and
sucks. I'm sorry.
coercion.
I feel terrible about
And it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to deal with any of it. I don't want to deal with any of you. But they don't understand that. So, like, my mom's just like, you haven't called me in 4 months! And I'm like,
What would happen?
I got nothing to
if-
say.
What would happen if you told your family that, though?
they'd probably be all butthurt about it. That's why I haven't.
I'm just curious. Like,
That's why I
to
haven't.
some extent, like, you not telling them is kind of almost like perpetuating that little, like, whatever. I'm curious what would happen. What would happen if you actually said that?
No, I
I
seriously.
mean, like, in some
Well, that's the
sense,
thing, like,
they all
I
care.
care. Like,
They
I
care,
care
you
about.
care,
I
they all-
care about my parents' like, I guess, mental health and well-being. So, like, if I were to say that, like, I don't think they would receive that very well. Like, I think that would be very bad, especially.
Because, you know what?
Well, no, especially
that.
after my brother's death. Like, I feel like that fucked things up, like, way bad. You know, my dad stopped taking his heart medication. My mom felt depression, started blaming herself for shit.
The
Like,
show
she's
just got,
really,
like, really
I
sad
know,
after
really sad and deep and just low fucked up. I know, right? No,
it tends to do
but-
that, but I'm okay with that. That's fine.
yeah, no, but no. So my parents have like all of that shit, and I think me telling them like, "Hey, fuck off," I don't think they take that very well.
Probably not.
So I just
Just
kind
kind
of,
of do your own thing.
yeah, I just kind of do my own thing, and when they call, I'm just like, yeah, dude, okay, I'm fine. I don't need shit.
You know, as
Alright.
much as I know you don't really like your father that much, but I think as much as you understand that he is the way he is, I still think he cares on some kind of level.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. I think he feels obligated to care. I don't think he does it out of actual, like, love and care in the normal sense that normal people feel.
That's so
For
weird.
their
My dad
others.
cares way too
Like, I
much.
feel, like, no. And the only reason why I feel that way is because he never connected with me until after my brother died. After my brother died, he
That was
instantly
a wake-up call for him, though.
Exactly, and that's why I was just like, really? Now, after all this time, after all these fucking years, you know, I sought your attention and you said, fuck you, I'm just gonna pay attention to your brother? Now you wanna shift that focus over here? Fuck you.
That's gotta, yeah. It's just, that's a lot of
You know,
weirdness.
But at the same time, like, I don't know if he even noticed it, but I noticed it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't say anything, because then he's gonna try and just make excuses and everything more. Like I said, lies and coercion.
My
And I
dad
just
is
don't
just,
feel
it's just, my family's just a little, certain people are a little bit delusional. You know, we all kind of care about one another, but we all have our little vices, whether it be alcohol, weed, just something to help cope, right? And
Dude, I found out my grandma on my mom's side. Also, she literally just, all she does is smoke weed. She doesn't drink.
I found out my mom's side
And
smokes too.
and
That was
she's
crazy.
like 70 or 80 years old. Still working, smoking weed and drinking. Like, all, yeah. And I was like, wow. That's actually pretty fucking awesome.
Nice.
I come from a West. So
Why is it?
fucking work until they die.
Oh, not that far. They don't go that far.
Yeah, a lot
My parents retired,
They tried.
and I realized they couldn't afford it.
Right.
My grandmother's in a home now. So that's
Yeah,
Still see her.
it seems shitty. Like, actually, I think my family.
my cool grandmother's still trucking it, mowing the lawn, shit. Like,
That's great. No, I think my family, like my dad and his siblings, are trying to get my grandma into a home because I think that they think she's got dementia. I think they're probably right. And that's actually caused a lot of legal issues, even because things have gotten so bad with her. So like they tried to fight and get her license revoked. So she wasn't driving for about what was it, like 8 months or something.
Yeah.
But then like she found a doctor to clear her again to drive, so now she's driving again or some shit like that, and that's not good. She was caught, dude. One time she was caught following a newspaper like delivery guy.
I think you told me this story.
Yeah, like she was just following this guy, and like he didn't go to people's houses.
He's out to get me.
Right? Yeah, she thought that this dude was like some stalker, so she was stalking him for like hours, and dude like got really freaked out, called the police. And they
You have an interesting family. My family's interesting, but your family's also interesting too.
yeah, yeah.
But let's come back here because I know the video is about to stop recording, and I just kind of want to get a closer in. I want to get a closer in so we can say that we'll keep going. I will keep broadcasting. The broadcast is going to end, so anybody who is viewing right now, please review.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But
We'll be back.
we're going to close this out so I can put in the YouTube video and say, hey, we ended it. But
yeah,
we had a good discussion, I think, on music. Music of the times, music throughout the ages, favorites, and a little bit of life in there too. Somehow that found its way to that end.
That
Kind
happens.
of drinking.
Yeah, that happens when you
And
drink alcohol.
one news article I found on wolves and a boy who played Creed
Oh my
saved
God,
the day.
right?
That's all.
That actually reminds me of that one article we did. I don't know if that was like first or second season. The guy who used the World of Warcraft skills when they got attacked by the moose or some
I
shit.
think I remember that. You remember it better than I do because it's like lost.
No, I just remember very
But,
certain specific things.
Thank you everybody on the internet for tuning in with us tonight. We appreciate everybody who's actually watching.
Right.
And,
The fact that people watch
Anybody-
me get drunk and talk about
Yeah.
shit.
Anybody who does actually watch the live stream gets more because they don't get like the. It's not edited. I mean, some people like the edited version more because then they get just this is what the best stuff is.
Yeah.
But then like the unedited, there's just so much more.
It's
So
more
if you just
us.
if
It's
you
more
just want to
personable.
hang out with us and just drink and talk, like that's pretty much what we're doing. And I am actually haven't checked the chat. I don't think it's working.
Dude, that's what we should do.
I wish people would chat.
One of these times, we should like set up a Skype, like a multi-people Skype.
Yeah.
Like just create a room and just talk. Like I think it'd be cool. Get like maybe 6, 7, 8 people
There's
together.
one comment on something. Let's see what it is.
Comment.
There we go. One person is Roshart 65. Last. This person must be just showing up thinking we're still drinking. No, we started this earlier than normal, so.
No, they were one of the first people to do that.
I was there. He says I streamed that I was totally awake for when it started and didn't wake up to all of a sudden. So welcome to the stream that's still going to happen, but this is the end of the recorded video. So we are going to say our YouTube goodbyes for the YouTube video, so I can just end it so I can edit it, but we'll still be online. So I'm going to re-vlog this or start it up again, so we keep going. But thank you for joining us tonight. Canid Confabulation. And we'll see you next week. Make sure you turn into Ustream if you want to actually see us cheers this. Sounds good night. So this is where it doesn't actually end.